Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 63. There you go. Today we are sitting down with Hansel, the owner of Leen Customs. Soundboard, baby. That's what we still need to get the soundboard, dude. Totally. But thank you, man. Thank you for making the trip. I really appreciate it, dude. So maybe people don't know the name, but they know your work, bro. So let it know, dude. You're the pin man.
The pin man. Yeah, there's a few versions for sure.
You're killing it, dude.
Thanks.
Ever since I think Alex was the one that introduced me to you.
Okay.
But even before that, I just been seeing the pins popping up everywhere.
Right.
And guys, if you're listening, it's the I have one right here. So I got this one as the collabo you did with Toyo Tires.
Yes,
for SEMA,
correct. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So it's the little car pins. What do you enamel?
They're called lapel pins.
Lapel pins.
Yeah,
okay, cool. So flare. So you need your flare, your pieces of flare.
Yeah, exactly. Enamel is the paint.
Oh, okay. Got you. So they're the really cool pins. I'm sure you guys listening right now, you've seen these on Instagram. They're freaking everywhere, man.
Yeah, that's
killing it, bro.
Trying to just take over everything.
You're doing it. Yeah, like there's always those little niche like areas in the community that you can get into, and kind of like we did with the hardware stuff. And, And for sure, like these pins is such a good idea for what you're doing, especially not just being able to offer the pins, but the way that you're taking it and the way that you're marketing it. Like you definitely have something huge, dude.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because for me it was the product first, then the branding, the marketing for it, because I never really thought this was going to be what it is now, and even till now, it's like, holy shit, it just keeps growing and, at a good rate, know? But yeah, man, when I first started, it was just kind of like, it was, I've been doing graphic design for like the last 10 years, maybe even longer. Okay. So before I was actually working for a creative brand director for a cycling company.
Oh, okay.
So, doing that kind of stuff, graphic design and advertisements and, branding and shit like that. So when, I started seeing like the whole pin movement kind of coming up, I was like, well, I'm not how do I say this? Like, I'm not a huge, like, I can talk detail with like about cars, like as far as like that motor is this.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. But I can appreciate like some builds, the effort that it takes. Obviously some stand out more than others, right? So for me, that's kind of like an art form as well. Yeah. In some sort of way. So same thing with the pins. When I did it, it was just like for the fuck of it. I did a design of a car, and my homie liked it. He's like, "Yo, do my car," and I was like, "All right, for sure." Did his car, and what really kind of like pushed me to this was Designer Con. If you guys are familiar with that.
What is that?
Designer Con's like a convention with artists and toys and, like vinyl toys and stuff like that, and put down one convention hall, and it's just like a full-on market for everyone. And that show that I went to maybe like 3 years ago, there was a lot more brand doing pins.
Oh, so you saw it was something that was coming around.
But as I'm looking around, I'm like, well, fuck, dude, you got like Initial D, Fast and Furious, like all these like stuff marketed for car enthusiasts, but there's nothing as far as a product like this for car enthusiasts.
Yeah,
at least nothing that I can find from like a quick Google search.
It was mostly somebody looking at the car community from the outside and being like, oh, well, it's just like Fast and the Furious. Yeah. Let's put that on a pin.
Yeah, exactly.
I get you.
I still haven't done one of those though.
Yeah,
probably should. So yeah, that's kind of how it just triggered everything. One day I was like, fuck it. I had a couple extra $100. I'm like, should I fucking pay some bills or should I fucking buy some pins?
Yeah, definitely.
Took the gamble, made some pins, and here we are now.
So how'd you find that connect? Did you just know somebody, or you just did a little research? Or
yeah, well, in my old job, we did a lot of import stuff from overseas.
Got you.
So I kind of knew already how to network reach out to the right people. I did have a lot of sources in Taiwan.
Got you.
To kind of help me with like, finding a good quality, finding the right price, and all that kind of stuff. So Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people really get hung up at. They're just like, I have no idea how to even get this produced, you know?
Right,
but
exactly. Yeah.
working at a place like you were saying with the cycling, like it's just part of the business. So whether you're getting something made for a car or you're getting made for bikes or whatever, you know, like even like apparel, like hats or t-shirts, stuff like that.
Totally,
like,
100%.
Hey, I could put my brand on that. I could put my name on that, and then you just roll with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's rad, man. And I've just, like I said, just the last year and a half, these things have been popping up everywhere, man. And I've always been into pins, you know.
Okay.
And that is from like the rock, punk rock,
right,
you know,
right,
like
totally,
Warped Tour kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like those days, you know, my backpack at school had pins on it and stuff like that. And you remember those like the little studs, that came on the belt. I used to have those all over.
Get a leather jacket and shit.
Yeah, dude, have them all look like Fonzie and shit, bro. But I've always been into cool little small details like that, and you're managing to get really small details on these.
Yeah, you know, I think what helps out, and I think and this is kind of a thing that I've been trying to work on, and I definitely would see it transition within the next year or two, is that at the end of the day, I want to be an artist first, than a pin manufacturer.
Got you, yeah.
Because you can fucking Google. We can cuss here, right?
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
There you go. You know, fucking Google custom pins and shit. Fucking, you know, 3 pages full of Google searches are gonna come up. And mind you, these are fucking companies that are actually just doing, you know, mom fucking pins and fucking my soccer team and shit like that, right? So a lot of these people usually just would produce whatever art you give them and not really take the time to really fine-tune everything. Opposed to me, like being a graphic artist, I kind of know exactly how much detail I can put in. You know, working with my manufacturing, I'm able to, you know, like I literally threw out a whole chart, like what's the thinnest stroke I can do.
Really?
Yeah, like I kind of went, like I created a sample sheet with them to just make sure, like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this much detail on a wheel, what's the thinnest stroke I can do? How much paint can I fill in here without losing detail? Oh, well, you know, and if I start losing detail, well, like, okay, well, I'll simplify it a little bit more, you know, stuff like that. So I created this whole chart with them so now when I'm producing cars and, you know, doing new cars, I'm like, okay, well, this I can definitely do, you know, without a problem. You know, I definitely get some places where like, oh shit, that might be a little hard, you know, stuff like that. But I think for the most part, I've pretty much fine-tuned it where I'm able to kind of just put as much detail where you recognize the car without losing so much.
No, it definitely does, dude. Even looking at this one that you did for SEMA, like the Toyo Tires, that's super small, man. And then
that one was definitely tricky. Like we went through like probably like 3 different samples. Just to make sure that Toyo Tires was legible. And it didn't take away too much, because you don't want to like blow it up in the car, you know. And we created a new one this year, where it actually has the tire stickers. You know how?
No way!
Yeah, man, it's fucking crazy.
Wow.
So we released it, sold out in fucking like an hour.
Shit. So you try to keep them within a certain size?
Yeah. So all my pins are usually about 1.5 inches.
Okay.
Give or take some that, you know, I try to keep them all relatively the same proportion. So, but like if you have like a low rider or a big ass tow truck, you know, like it's gonna be a little bit bigger.
Got it.
So they'll go up to maybe like 2 inches or something like that.
So how big can you even go?
That's a very good question. I think you could go pretty big as fuck.
Really?
Yeah. Like you want to pin this size for sure.
No shit.
I mean, I've seen doing now like more events. You know, I've seen artists that do pins this size.
No way.
It's crazy. Yeah. Like, I mean,
and with something that big, you can get a lot of detail.
Exactly. Way more detail. You can also even, you know, and I think when you create something this big, it's more like an art piece at that point.
Yeah, like definitely. You're not going to just be wearing it around.
Fucking big ass fucking. Hey, people do though. I mean, you know, it's just different, you know, and it comes down to like preference, right? Like if you're going to rock that piece, you're going to rock it, you know?
Yeah.
It's just going to be heavy though.
So where does the name come from?
Yeah, so actually, I used to do graffiti.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's very bad, like, you know? Everyone, graffiti's a bad thing. Yeah, totally, right? It's so crazy how, like, so many people have the same, like, background.
Yeah, totally.
Whether you're a skater, you're into graffiti.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of California lifestyle, maybe.
It could be. It very well could be, man. We don't have much to do out here.
Yeah, so that's actually where the name originated from, Leen.
So that was your alias, your tagger name.
Yeah, that was my tagger name.
No way.
Yeah, man. So and you know that's been around since high school. So shit. So and then Customs just came right after that because at that time when I kind of wanted to just put my art out there, I was doing graphic design. I was still painting. I was doing just anything I can do with art, you know. So I was like, oh well, fucking Customs, you know, because fucking I would custom anything, you know? So that's kind of where that came from. So when I started, it's funny because when I started doing pins, I was like, well, should I create a different, you know, brand for it, you know, like fucking pin something?
Hell no, dude.
Yeah, so that's kind of I was like, you know what, like maybe not, you know, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep going with what I've been going for and just, you know, fuck it, Leen Customs. Yeah. So and it stuck and it's been there.
That's so funny, dude. That's the same exact thing that happened with me, bro. Like I've had the name Downstar since I was like in sophomore in high school.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
It was just like, you know, I would tag on my binder and stuff. I would Downstar everywhere and the AOL screen names and, you know, totally. All that was Downstar back in the day. That's really tight, dude.
Yeah, it's the same thing, you know.
So how did you even get into like appreciating art? Where did that come from? Because it seems like everything that you've done, it all kind of leans back into your appreciation for art.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think as long as I can remember, since I was a kid, I've been into art. You know, whether it was fucking picking up crayons to markers to spray paint.
Yeah.
I was really into doing like pieces and fucking, you know, painting on walls, painting on trains, stuff like that. Yeah. So I think at the end, you know, graffiti definitely took a huge role into what transitioned from my lifestyle.
Yeah,
because you know I met like huge artists that are in the culture still now, you know, like the dudes from MSK and stuff like that, you know, and CBS, you know. So meeting those dudes like when I was a young kid and you know they're like well-known artists, like that just kind of inspired like, holy shit, these guys literally just all they do is paint graffiti and fucking that's how they live, you know. Yeah, so it kind of definitely played a huge role, I feel, you know.
Dude, that's rad, man. So back in the day when you used to do the graffiti and stuff like that, did you ever get into any trouble?
Yeah.
Or what was it? Oh, yeah. Was it mostly like you were the solo kind of artist, or with a crew? Or
yeah, you know, actually, I got a really good handful of friends that we actually, you know, we created a crew back in high school, and we're still tight to this day. But we were mainly like, you know, we weren't a tagging crew.
Got you.
Like we wouldn't go out and, I mean, we would, but we wouldn't go out and just tag anywhere. We were mainly like, oh, let's go fucking hit a billboard. Let's go fucking hit some trains. Let's go, you know, do some legal walls and shit, you know, at a neighborhood and go to yards and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that was the thing kind of when I was in school, that there was the taggers, but that was
right.
There was a very fine line between taggers and gangbangers, because it was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
It was like it was kind of just the border. Whether if you're a gangbanger, you just, that's what you do. You just bang. But a tagger is like, they still had that kind of beef.
Yeah,
and it seemed like that was their motivation. The motivation really wasn't about like, yo, let me get some art down. Let's go.
Yeah, totally.
Let's go bust a wall.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what played a huge role was meeting these other bigger artists that were really just painting to get paid.
Yeah.
You know, like one of the dudes that I can, you know, always be back there that I think would play a huge role would be Create from a West Coast artist, you know. Okay. Like growing up, like, you know, we're 15, 16 years old, and, you know, this is an older cat that's, you know, painting, you know, for Nike, painting for Adidas, and, you know, for whatever they need for movies and shit like that. Yeah. You know? You realize like, well, fuck, man, I don't need to be out there tagging and fucking, you know, maybe if I just perfect this one day, I can fucking lead up to it, you know. Unfortunately, I did get into some crazy shit. My house got raided.
No shit.
It was one of the craziest experiences.
What led up to that?
till this day, I really don't know. It was insane, man. You know, I grew up in a small, like, 1-bedroom apartment with my parents, you know, my 3 older brothers. So
6 of you in a 1-bedroom apartment.
1-bedroom for sure. You know, 7 a.m., maybe 6, I don't remember. You just hear a big ass boom, boom, boom. We're like, what the fuck? You know, I'm up because I'm getting ready to go to school.
What? So how old were you at this time?
Yeah, like 16.
Oh, like
16, 17. Yeah, I was young. Yeah.
Wow.
It's big ass loud bang, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, holy shit. You know what's crazy too? That my uncle was staying there that night. He was coming from like El Salvador. So loud ass bang. We're like, what the fuck? Yeah. My dad gets up. He's like, what the fuck's going on? You know, they're just banging.
And you had no idea.
We had no idea, you know? And at this point when we're like, what the fuck's going on? They're already getting they're trying to knock down the door. Like, they have that fucking thing, like, boom, boom. Shit. And like my dad picks out the window, like, yo, it's the cops. Like what the fuck? So he opens the door quick. He's like, and then dude, like, seriously, fucking rifles to everybody's head, like, yo, out, like, you know, we're here with a search warrant. We're here with a search warrant. Like, we're like, what the fuck?
And none of this clicked in your head, like, oh fuck, what did I do?
No, I mean, yes and no. I mean, because, and it was the weirdest thing because they actually came from my brother.
Okay.
Because he was also into graffiti.
Okay.
You know, but it was weird. It was different because he was mainly into like fucking up the MTA buses.
Uh-huh.
So it was like he had like a portfolio, whatever you want to call it, through MTA. So MTA was like, sheriffs are under MTA, right? So the LA County sheriffs came because, you know, they had already found who.
So your brother's name is whatever it is, exactly. And they're just like, damn, this bus keeps coming back, and it fucking says Downstar on every who is this fucking Downstar guy?
Exactly. But when I came to find out, it's just that MTA had put a huge hit on anybody that was, whether you caught a little tag with a fucking scribe or with a blade, you had a record. And
they were documented.
They were just documenting everyone.
Got you.
From what I came to understand was that they caught someone. That person ratted my brother out, and then it just triggered from there, right? So when they got to my house, it was. I mean, now it's funny, right?
Yeah.
They got to my house, and they're like, "Oh, Leen lives here too. Oh, that's interesting. We're coming back for you later today. Then we're gonna go get a warrant for you." And we're like, "What the fuck?" You know?
No way. Man, how did they find that out?
They raided the house and they found a bunch of Leen
black books
and markers, and they had like 2 crates of spray cans. And you know, at that time, it's like my parents are like, "Oh, he's just a kid doing art," you know, and it's like, "Yeah, I'm an artist."
So you're,
you know, so my parents. I mean, I kept it pretty low key as far as like, oh, I'm out fucking destroying property. So not in LA.
Where did you guys originate from?
LA, man, born and raised.
Really? Right, your parents as well?
No, so my parents, they're from they're immigrants. They came from El Salvador, Guatemala. Yeah.
And then when did they get to LA?
They got into LA like in the early 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah,
so
early 80s.
So by the time that you were born, you were already.
Yeah, so I was born here. My brothers were born here.
Got you.
Yeah, so it was just exactly that, right? Like what parent coming from like an immigrant family is gonna want to go through that experience, you know? And especially the way that they, you know, and I mean, I guess not that I want to agree with them, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like you really, as a cop, you don't know who you're going into. So they came out like full force.
Oh, like, yeah, dude, you got to be ready. Because all the graffiti stuff is, like I said, with the taggers and stuff, it's all intertwined together.
Yeah, you don't never know, you know? So like they put, you know, everyone in handcuffs. They took us all out. They flipped our house inside and out.
No.
Yeah, bro. It was very definitely, it's something that you'll never forget, you know?
Yeah.
And they pretty much just, you know, it was, and again, we lived in an apartment building, right? So they surrounded the whole complex where we're at, and just like, you know, all the neighbors are out fucking chismosos and shit. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, dude. Like, fuck, man.
And then there's always that old one that she's looking, and she's like, yeah, I knew they were into some shit.
Yeah, man.
No way.
Yeah, so it's that definitely was a life changing experience.
I bet.
Like, I probably shouldn't do this anymore.
Wow. So do you think at that time your parents really didn't understand the significance of what you guys were doing?
Correct. They did it for sure.
Yeah. That happens a lot, dude. It's like in this area of Oxnard, it's like highly populated with Hispanics.
Right.
And there's a lot of first generation families that come over here,
right,
you know.
Right,
and
right.
the parents are just out working. They're hustling, dude.
Man.
There's
totally.
big farm community out here, so you know they're working the fields and things like that, and it really bothers me a lot because I'm like, dude, you guys don't understand. Your parents are out here trying to provide a different life for you, and you're out here fucking around, you know. Just like in Oxnard too, it's a lot of bad stuff that goes on, and and it's just like, dude, I'm sure the parents have no idea. Right. Not to say that is what you were doing.
I wouldn't doubt it. You know, my parents were very lenient towards us. You know, they let us go out and, you know, fuck around. Like, I mean, I came from, you know, back then it's like punk shows every weekend, you know, like stay up till like 3 a.m, you know, like we were doing, like, I grew up with that, you know, like doing punk shows, trying to skate. Trying to skate and painting graffiti.
Yes, you're right, dude. That's like the SoCal life, man. You're just out doing your thing, and then as long as you don't have the FBI at the door, you're pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Wow, dude. So after that whole situation, like,
so you know, they came in the morning. They took my brother, because they came from my brother, right? So then they basically warned me, like, oh, we're coming back for you. You know, we're like,
get out of here.
Yeah. So they left, quote unquote. They left. You know, I still had to go to school. I went to school like paranoid as shit, like what the fuck's going on? Like I'm tripping, like what are my parents thinking? You know, like
what did they tell you when you left?
No, they were basically like, get the fuck out, go to school, you know, like you know, like they, you know, just don't pissed. You know, they were pissed for sure. You know, like fuck, you know, we've gone into some stupid shit, but that was stupid as fuck. You know, so I'm just like fuck, you know. So school's out, you know, I go back home and my parents had pretty much just thrown a bunch. They didn't give a fuck if it was important to me or not. They just threw everything, you know, like put it in bags, threw it to the dumpster, just throwing shit. But you know what was so funny is that when the cops came later that night for me, motherfuckers went into the trash can and pulled everything out. So whether it was like quote unquote evidence or not, they fucking, you know, they took everything. They took all my, and they took shit that didn't even make sense. They took my computer, you know, like our home computer, not even my computer, our home computer. I don't know if being from Oxnard, but did you know the website 50mm LA?
No.
Okay, so 50mm LA was it was a huge like underground like forum website.
Okay.
For a lot of the graffiti artists, pretty much everywhere and anywhere.
Really?
But primarily in LA.
No way.
So you can even till now you can go to 50mm Los Angeles and you'll pull up like graffiti from like 90s. I think that's when he started, like just early 2000s, you know?
Yeah.
And you can see all kinds of graffiti there. So it was just like a forum place where like a lot of the fucking, it was like Facebook kind of, or Instagram was back then. It was just a forum website, you know? And I was active on that. So I think they monitored that as well. The cops were monitoring that, so they knew what obviously my name was like Leen 1 or some shit. Yeah. You know? So stuff, shit like that, right? So it was crazy, and the reason why I feel like that's how the whole thing got triggered was because someone ratted my brother out. Was because as soon as they took me in, they're like, that's what they were like. Oh, we see you bombing with this guy. We see you bombing with this guy. There's tags with you in here. They're showing me pictures. They're showing me. You know, they pop out a folder and they fucking...
And what are you thinking at this time? 16.
Like, fuck, man, what the fuck? Yeah, they're telling you, oh, you're going to go to, you know, you're going to go to juvie, then you're going to, once you turn 18, you're going to be trialed as an adult because it's going to take long, blah, 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 you know? And I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? Like, so, and they want you to, like, they want to get shit out. Oh, where does he live? What's his real name? You know? Oh, like, you know, all this stupid shit. You know? And at that point, I'm like, man, I'm already here. Like, what the fuck are you guys going to do, you know? Like, you know, there's no point, you know? So I'm just like, it's funny because my excuse was like, not that I knew any of these people, but I was just like, oh, I don't know why they hit my name. I've never met them. We just met online. You know? And so we would just say, yeah, I'll hit you up. I'll hit up your name if you hit up my name. So, you know, shit like that. Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely a crazy experience. I didn't do much jail time. You know, it was I was trialed as a minor and shit. You know,
so when you got home, or
I was I didn't go home till like 2 days after.
So you went to school, and then what happened after that?
So I went back home. Oh yeah, I went back home.
So you went back home, and then that's when they pulled up.
Yeah, the
like,
cops came. With the warrant.
With the warrant. So what was the gap between by the time the cops came before when you got home from school, or were they waiting for you already?
That's what I'm thinking. Like there was definitely like maybe a patrol car or two just chilling in front. Or on the corner or something, just seeing if there was any activity.
So what I'm trying to say is, when did you get the wrath of your parents?
That's a good question. I don't think I got a wrath.
Really?
Like, I think it was just like there was a disappointment. It wasn't more of like wrath, but it was a huge disappointment. Like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. Because, and like you mentioned, right? Like they're out there hustling. They're out there like putting bread on the table, and like this is what you're doing. Like,
yeah.
Like what the fuck, So yeah, I think it was more like disappointment and shit. Now she loves me.
Yeah, I bet, man. It's cool when you're able to take something negative, and flip it into a positive thing, totally. And to even flip it into the name, dude. That's really dope. Man. Yeah, I bet a lot of people don't even know like what it means.
Yeah, totally.
Usually when you'll ask somebody what the name, just a nickname from high school or something like that, but it has some history to you. Do you ever have any people that look you up on Instagram is like, oh shit, what are you doing now?
I've come across some old friends for sure, and it's kind of hard to explain, like, oh, I do lapel pins, like, so it's definitely hard to explain. Even my parents, like, how do you even to like my like, I don't know, how did I tell my parents? Like, I'm just like, because when I told them like, oh, I just quit my job too last year. So to do this full time.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of like, quitting my job. They're like, what? You got another job? I was like, no, I'm going to pursue like my own company. And they're like, doing what? Like pins. Really? What the fuck is that? Like, like, yeah, it was a funny conversation for sure.
So when was the first pin that you did and you just realized like, yo, this is something I wanna dig into?
It was a Subaru pin.
Okay.
It was a tribute to Mac Ray, which was a rallycross racer. So I did his design, or I did the livery design, and again, I didn't really have a marketplace for it. I just knew that there was like a few Facebook, pages and stuff like that, and a few forums.
Yeah.
So I ordered the set. I got them in hand, and I took pictures of them, and I put them online. And I at that time I still had like I've always had my website. So I had a quick little like e-commerce tab to it. People can buy directly.
Leen Customs.
Yeah. I've always had like my portfolio website with my design work and shit.
Just for whatever.
Got you. Because my main thing was like I'm trying to pursue like my graphic art and
okay, so this is a site that you just had. This is the graphics I do.
Exactly.
Things like this. Okay, gotcha.
So and then when I did the pin, I was like, oh, I'm just adding a product. Here's a product. Here's a pin, and I put them on a few forums. And the response was dope. They're like, "Oh, these are fucking dope. These are cute." Blah blah blah.
Really?
Like people were loving them. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, like fucking, this is people were digging it." So I think it took like 4 days for me to sell all of them.
And when was this?
This was in October of 2017.
2017, because I went on your Instagram and it was like I think December. I think it was mid-December when you did your first.
If you scroll all the way down.
When you did the first post. Damn, that's not even that long ago.
And yeah, but my Instagram has been active since fucking, I don't know, like.
You just deleted all the everything. Old stuff?
I deleted. It was my personal Instagram. I deleted everything.
The trains and everything.
Yeah, all that stupid shit. No, I just found the picture, dude. So I was on that website 50mm.
Yeah.
Like literally maybe like a few months ago. And I'm like looking at frame graffiti.
Yeah.
And I came across one of my old pictures. I was like, no, this is sick. Yeah, I shared it on my stories real quick.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
That was dope, seeing
so, that. What made you choose that car?
I have a Subaru. I think that's
really?
Yeah, just because I think that was more of like, I don't know why, honestly. Subaru community is very tight, I feel. So I figured, fuck it, people would know. If you drive a Subaru, you know what this is. It's kind of one of those things that doesn't matter what Subaru you drive, you would appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's kind of what I did, And again, it was kind of like, for me at that point, I was working. I've always had like a good job doing like the whole branding and marketing for that cycling company. So it, coming up, shit, you still got bills to pay, and all that stuff, so that was kind of for me like a gamble. Like, fuck, do I spend like $200-300 on product, or should I pay some bills?
Yeah.
So luckily I fucking I told my girl like, hey, I'm gonna try to do this. Should I do this? She's like, well, fuck it. If you think it's gonna be something that's gonna sell, then you should do it. And I was like, all right, fuck it. So I did it.
Dude, I love hearing stories like this, man, because they're all the same. You get to that point where you're just like, should I do it or not?
Yeah.
And then, fast forward a couple years and you have your own business and you're just more job, not depending on anybody else but yourself.
Right.
And it's just, that's kind of one of the reasons I even want to do this podcast, is for people to know that it's not like magic and fairy dust and wishes. Totally, like, dude, man, this is just grinding.
Yeah. And that's I'll definitely always back that up. Like, this shit did not come overnight, like, I feel like I've been putting in work since my first endeavor. We're trying to create some sort of brand, like, it's just, it leads up to it. A lot of things fails, until one succeeds, I guess. So that's kind of the way that I always saw it. So when I saw like, oh fuck, these Subaru pins sold, like, okay, well, now I'm gonna order 3 more designs with that money that I just made back.
Flip it.
Yeah, pretty much flip it. So sure enough, it went from 1 pin to 3 pins to 6 pins, and just kind of.
And this is late 2017.
This is late 2017. 2018, I did my first car show, which was actually Tuner Evo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I actually bummed a booth with my homie Sam that runs like Awesome Lifestyle.
Okay.
So I had actually been in communication with him since like 2017, that last year previous. And I pitched some ideas too. I remember I was just like, dude, like, there's just something missing. Like, there could be some more creative stuff done in the car culture, but I just didn't know what it was. I was doing a lot of like painting, like bicycle frames and stuff like that, customizing stuff. I was like, and kind of like what you did with your whole engine bay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of remember when I told Sam, I was like, maybe doing some custom stuff like that, like whether it was the cover or maybe the hood, or I think people would appreciate that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, how do you start,
Yeah.
So anyway, so when I did my pins, he kind of saw like, oh shit, people are fucking with it, right? So I told him like, hey, let me do your car. Like, we'll go to like, let me like, how to go down. Like I told him, let me do your car. We'll make an X amount, we'll split it, and we'll try to sell them and shit. And at that time, I was a little hesitant to do people's cars because it's like, why would you buy someone else's car?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Like,
yeah,
as a car enthusiast, you probably want one of your cars,
of your own car. Yeah.
But then once it gets like really detailed to the specific build, I forgot that everybody that has a build has a fan base as well. So obviously, once we did Sam's car, people were fucking with it, like, oh shit. So, anyways, he had a booth at Tuner Evo and was like, yo, I don't have much stuff. You want to come out and sell your pins? I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
No way.
Yeah. I mean,
dude,
like,
that's so
I only
cool,
had
man.
Like 9 pins or something, or 6 pins. Little fucking
just
pin
for him
board.
to even offer you, dude.
Yeah,
that's
totally,
really cool.
Yeah, it was definitely a good experience because till that day, I was never like a vendor at any sort of event like that. So it was my first experience.
Yeah.
Like the whole behind the scenes, like going there and setting up. I helped them set up and all that shit. Probably the mistake I made at my first show is that I drank the night before.
Oh shit!
Oh man! So I showed up to the show super hungover.
Oh man!
Realized that was a mistake.
Been there, dude.
Yeah, fuck, man. I still do it to this day, but it was just,
damn.
Yeah, it was fun.
I feel you, dude. That was in I told this in a couple pods ago. It was 2010. So 2000. I started the brand in 2009. So in 2000, yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So how old are you?
I'm gonna be 29.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I started in 2009. So in 2010, I did my first ever vendor booth at IBOC Meet.
Okay.
And then I decided that summer that I was going to fly to Tennessee for Import Alliance.
Right.
So I flew out there. So in between IBOC and Import Alliance, I ended up meeting some people that were here for IBOC, but lived in the South.
Okay.
So when I get over there, oh, what's up, man? And we're all hanging out and partying and drinking and shit like that. So then the next morning, got to get to the show, take care of everything. And this is my second time having a vendor booth.
Okay.
So after that Saturday, after the show's done, everybody goes to the hotel. And back then, they had a central hotel that everybody stayed at. So it was like a fucking party, bro.
Yeah.
So we were just drinking and partying and staying up late. And the next morning, it was just, I felt like shit. They're banging on my door. Like, we gotta go. I'm like, oh, fuck, get there set up. And I'm not in the mood. I feel like shit, you know? Totally. And later that year, that was kind of one thing that really stuck with me. Like, dude, you're trying to start your brand, and like, this is how you're representing yourself, you know? And later that year, I said, you know, I'm not gonna drink no more. And I stopped drinking since 2010.
Like, you don't drink alcohol
at all?
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, good for you.
And it was just one of those things that I kind of like had to kick myself in the ass for, you know. And not saying that you're like, when you go to shows, it's not professional or what, but it's just like, you know when you drink that you're not on the ball as much as you would be
100%.
when you're sober, totally, you know? Totally. Yeah, so I had to kick it in myself. It was like, dude, if you want to make this shit happen, like you have to be on the ball. Like, you can't be out here partying. This isn't about partying.
Right.
This is about like making shit happen, you know?
That's kind of exactly how I felt. Like, I was like, fuck, I you know, like I'm trying to talk to people, but really like my functionality is like, I got a headache.
Yeah.
You know, give me another whiskey. Yeah, maybe go away.
I could totally relate to that, dude.
You know, that was like, and the thing is that they want you there super early too.
Hell yeah, bro! I'm like, dude, just chill till like noon or something. Come on.
So thankfully, once like 1 or 2 hours into the show, I started feeling better. And I was like, I was a little more active, you know. And I met some, you know, and again, you know, much love to Tuner Evo because
shout out to Jay.
Yeah, totally,
amazing
man.
Job, man.
That show opened a lot of doors for me, you know. My main thing was like, oh, I'm out here to network, fuck it, you know. If I sell a few pins, amazing, you know, but I just want to show all these other vendors that were around that day what I offer. And that's when I met Gil from the HHW crew, which they sell the Hot Wheel collectibles, you know.
Okay,
Hot
cool.
Wheels, and just, you know, set up a whole booth, you know. Me and them have been doing shows now back to back. Also met the dude from Car Drugs, you know. So I met a lot of cool people there. So it kind of definitely inspired me. Like, oh, people are fucking with this, you know.
Yeah.
People are loving this. Like, let's keep pushing. You know. So this was what, February 2017?
Yeah, I think it was February 2018.
I'm sorry. January. Yes, you're right. 2018. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was early January, because the reason that I personally didn't go, we had a booth there, but I couldn't go, is because we were in Japan for Auto Salon. And that's always the middle of January. That's on my checklist
for next year.
Hell yeah, dude. You got to do it, bro.
I just found out about it this year.
Oh, you have to.
Everybody's over there. I'm like, where the fuck is everybody in Tokyo?
Hell yeah, dude. It's so tight.
Yeah. Again, like, I'm still a noob, I would say, you know, compared to everybody that's been in the industry for doing this, you know, for as long as you have. You know? So I definitely have much to learn, you know, when it comes
exciting,
to
man.
Stuff. Yeah, it's good. It's a different industry for me, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the cycling industry for like the last 6 years, you know, like pretty much everything that happens for the cult culture happens for pretty much every culture, I feel, you know. So we had shows like SEMA, you know, we had a show called Interbike, you know, that happened same place in Vegas, you know, every fucking cycling company was out there, from in accessory like Thule and Yakima, all that
at the convention center.
Convention
sweet.
for bikes, you know.
Got you.
So, you know, stuff like that, you know. So for me, it was like the cycling industry was always first, you know, and everything that I've learned throughout those years, I was able to put it into this, you know, and know what to expect, know how to handle shit.
Got you.
Whether it's relationship with new clients or finding sources, and, you know, all that good stuff. Yeah,
dude, all of that stuff is the same. It's just the end product
right,
different,
but
the skills that you have to learn, and the obstacles that you have to go through.
Yeah,
even totally. Before Downstar, I was working at Best Buy. I was an install tech right there for since like 2005, October 2005. I was working at Best Buy, and in the install bay, it's kind of like a separate store from the main store. You know, you go back there and you do your own thing. So it was kind of my first lesson in running your own business.
Interesting.
Because the more I left the managers out of it, the more they stayed out of my hair, the more I can do, you know. So they would give us a budget. So hey, today you have to make $300 for install.
Okay.
So I knew in my mind, like, as long as I get that taken care of, they're not gonna bug me.
Yeah.
They're gonna let me do whatever I want to do. You know. So I made sure that I, handled the customers properly. Made sure that their experience was great. Made sure that they had no reason to go complain. Made sure everything rolled right.
Right.
That's like I say, is that no matter where you're working at, no matter what job you're doing, there's definitely a skill in there that you can use, and you can implement that to your own thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I think that's kind of, that's kind of what happened, like, so I was pretty much still doing full-time, salary, like, doing the whole 9 to fucking 5, 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Doing the whole row. And, it was like grind at my day job, then go home, chill out, hang out with my son, and then put them down, right? And then fucking 10 p.m. comes around. It's like stay up till like 3, 4 in the morning.
Oh,
just
shit!
Pumping out designs, and I did this for like 6, 7 months.
Wow. So, what time did you wake up?
8.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
so you got like tough, 3-4 hours.
Yeah, like, and then I think that's kind of what triggered everything too, because I started losing interest in my actual job. I'd be going there, I'm like, man, I'm not motivated anymore. There's not a lot of things going on, and I think the team flow also didn't work as much for me anymore. So, and then that's when it started picking up, like, as far as people like, yo, these are fucking amazing, how can I get one custom of my car? Like, I like what you're doing, I want customs. And at that point, I'm like, okay, cool, like, and everything was trial. There was like a trial and error for like the first few months, like what the pricing, what works. Like I remember my first few customs that I did were just like, I wasn't even charging any sort of art fee. I was just like, I wanted people to have my shit, so I was just almost giving them cost pricing.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted my shit out there, like, and I think that's kind of what helped too, because I was able to gain momentum with like more designs coming out, because they were supporting technically the brand, and I think it just kept growing. The collection kept growing, and I think that's kind of what helped out for sure. So I'll be at home like 2, 3 in the morning just pumping out designs,
Yeah.
And then fucking, I don't know, was it like July or some shit came around, and I'm just like, I think it's time to quit, man. Like,
so from January, November,
right,
barely get cracking.
Yeah.
And by, you say July?
Yeah.
July.
I think August for sure.
Damn, dude. Yeah. That's fast.
Yeah. Because when was SEMA? October?
November.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, because I remember, so there must have been like September then.
Okay.
Yeah, because that I left my job. It was August or September. I can't remember.
But still, dude, even less than a year.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Totally less than a year. That's awesome, man. That you're able to catch that wave at that early and just run with it.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
I was able to put but again, put a fucking lot of hours. Every night. Like, my girl's like, damn, go to sleep. I'm like, yeah, in a minute. So
how did that work out? How did, after it started going, how did your girl feel about like the lack of time that you have? Were you able to facilitate it all where the family gets this much?
Yeah, exactly. She's always been supportive since day one, since I told her the idea of a fucking car pin and shit, and it kind of, it all happened at the right time. Because she also started going to veterinary school.
Oh, okay.
So at that moment, we're like, fuck, we're going to have to pay for a babysitter, like, and it kind of happened right when I was like, well, I'm going to quit my job. So now I'm like,
there you go.
So it kind of like it all happened at the right time, I feel. And yeah, exactly. I'll go home, I'll chill out, have dinner, stay up with my son for a few hours, And again, it's not like there wasn't much time regardless, because, fucking you're at home, you're at work till like 6, I get home like 6:30 or some shit. And then it's, we don't put them down super late, we had kind of like a little bit of a strict, go to sleep. So it, once 9-10 o'clock came around, it's like, boom, pop up my laptop, get to work, and
got you.
I'll hang out with her, watch TV or some shit while I'm working still, and it kind of, and it's like that till now, I still don't know how to manage my time.
I mean, it's always evolving, everything's always changing, because the time that you think that you have a schedule down, something else comes along and it just messes it up. So as long as you're the type of person that's fluid and you could just move around whatever comes up, is like that's the skill that you need to work on, rather than being like, okay, at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock I gotta do this, and from 7 to 8, like stuff's always gonna come up, and as long as you're the kind of person that is like trying to figure out, well, now I gotta do this, now I gotta do that, you know, and that's dope, man. As long as you understand that, like, when you have to facilitate your time to everybody, because I think a lot of people, they don't get that, and that's why they end up in issues like relationship issues and things like that. I see it a lot of time, man. Not only business owners, but just regular car enthusiasts. I wish that they didn't trip on me when I worked on my car, and then I'm just thinking, okay, well, what would she say if I were to talk to her? This dude's in the garage all day, every day. He doesn't show me no time. I'm like, dude, of course somebody's going to get upset by that. Exactly. But then you also have to have that kind of significant other that's going to understand and see the vision, rather than just being a selfish person, being like, I want to go to the movies now. You know, like, this is what's going to pay for the movies. Yeah, exactly. So that's really cool. It sounds like you have a girl that she supports you a lot. Man.
Totally, very supportive, you know. We've been together for a minute, so it's always good to have that, you know. And again, it's just you know, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like things happen for a reason,
definitely
know? And the way that transition was just like every fucking moment was at the right time, you know, like, oh shit, you know.
You get those signs, man, and you just gotta know when to pull the trigger, dude.
My main thing was that, like, fuck, you know, like, there's no more salary jobs, so like there's no more like safety net, you know. Like, there's no more steady income coming in. Like my that was my, you know, like that was my kind of like my worry for sure. Like, fuck, you know, like, what about if it doesn't, you know, like, it's going good, business is going good, you know, like, you know, I was making you know, money, you know, but I wasn't saying that it was paying the bills. But I knew that if I quit my job and devoted my time fully to just get more clients, get more work done, get more more product out there, that it could turn into that. So, but the only way I would know is if I did it.
So where did you get that confidence from? Because selling one pin, you know, that could be a fluke, you know. You don't. So it really takes. It really is like, yo, I know myself.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And I think it led up to like every drop that I was doing just kept getting better and better. You know, like, okay. You're right. It started with one pin sold, and then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll do. You know, when I did the 3 pins, those 3 pins were selling, and then when, you know, as my collection started getting bigger, there was more people waiting for them and waiting for, like, oh, dope, what's new, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's fucking insane, man.
I bet,
holy
dude.
Fuck. Like, the amount of support I get, sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck? People are fucking crazy. I love you guys.
Dude, hell yeah, bro. Like, even me and Alex, we've been going over, and he's like, yeah, I want to get one of them in my car. I'm like, yeah, I want to do the M, and then we'll do the right head, and we'll just do them all, and I'll do my face. I don't give a fuck. Like, what else can we put on it, man?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool. You have crazy. A very, very cool product, man.
Yeah,
and,
you know,
and not only is the product cool, it's just like the way that you market it, the pictures that you take. Right. You know, it's a little pin. How do you make this look like something cool? You put it on a girl with some big tits or something, you know, you can market it that way. I don't do
that, man.
Yeah, me neither. You know, I never went down that way. I always just thought, like, what can I do to make this hardware cool? And when you take the pictures and it's just like everything's out of focus but the pin, and even the ones that you sent me where it was like the skyline, you can see, I'm like, damn, you have a really good eye with it, and that's gonna help the brand grow a lot. Totally. Like, shit, dude, to be able to quit your full-time salary job in less than a year to doing this, and then the what the brand has grown in just this past year is insane, man. This is really cool.
It's also, I've been fortunate enough to meet people that see the vision, or see that it's something amazing too, and it's a different type of product they can offer, you know. And working with some of these bigger brands has definitely put me on top. I feel like put me up there, you know. And I think that's definitely something that I'll always, you know, like, appreciate, you know, like when Toyo Tires hit me up and we're like, yo, like, let's do something for SEMA. I was like, when's SEMA? They're like, oh, in like 3-4 weeks. I'm like, fuck.
No way.
I'm like, we need to do this now then, because my production time is that long. And I'm like, how many do you guys want? They put in a huge fucking order, man.
Well, you guys did for that collabo. It was this and how many other? Is it like 10?
Yeah, so it was 10 cars that were featured in their tread pass.
Got you.
And they were giving them out, you know, and I think that's kind of also what was pretty cool, the way that they promoted the thing, you know, where it was like giveaways every hour, you know, different.
Yeah, I remember that, and that's when like I was telling you before the podcast, I was at SEMA. And then Alex texts me and he's like, hey, do you think you can get me one of these pins at the Toyo booth? Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. And when he texts me, like, we were outside right there where they have the big screen at, and they were playing and that was where they were giving them away. Yeah, I don't know if they were giving them away inside.
They were. They
were
both. They were doing
both. Okay, cool. So I went up there and I just got them. I'm like, damn, these are really, really cool. And then that's when it got clicked in my head, like, you know, I'm going to hit him up. I want to get some pins made for Downstar.
Yeah, that was crazy too, because it was just like, I think I got there the 3rd day or the 2nd day, and then like by the 4th day there was huge lines of people just every hour. That was pretty dope to see.
And to be able to work with a company like Toyo, that's huge, man.
Yeah, definitely. Again, they were very supportive, you know, from the start, you know, and we've already locked something down for this year as well.
Rock and roll, dude. Hell yeah. That's gonna be dope. So when you guys built your relationship, the initial contact that they made, was it just through like Instagram or something?
Yeah, shout out to Stan, man. He fucking hit me up. I remember he hit me up, and it was through his personnel. So it was just like, hey, like your pins, how can I get some made? And I kind of just gave him a response that I gave everyone. Yeah, I wasn't aware that he was like, you know, the main guy from Toyo and shit. So. And then until they're like, oh, yeah, that's the dude from Toyo. I was like, oh, shit.
No way.
Yeah, and we've had a good relationship after that. So
very cool, man. It's dope. You never know when you're going to get those kind of opportunities.
Yeah, you know, and it's definitely triggered, you know, everything else. You know, I've started working. I did some stuff for a KW suspension. That was pretty cool.
Shout out to KW. That's what I have on the M4.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Nice. I think it's the V3 suspension, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But stuff is sick, dude. Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah. But so did they have something at SEMA, or was Toyo the only one that you did?
So last year it was just that was the only company that we did the exclusive, and it's probably gonna be like that this following year.
Okay, cool.
Because I want to keep it exclusive, you know. I want to make, again, it's like, think of like, you know, I don't know, man, I have so many cool ideas, but I definitely want to be like the supreme of pins, you know.
Hell yeah.
Like, just exclusive, limited edition, like fucking lying out the door, type shit, you know.
So speaking of exclusive, do you have one of every pin that you've ever made?
Yes, I do. There's too many.
No way.
We actually got a huge board recently, and we're trying to pin everything.
No way.
There's a lot of goddamn pins. I think if I'm right, it's close to 300 right now.
No shit.
Close to 300 designs.
Oh, dude. Yeah. How many do you have of each? Is it just one?
I usually get 2 or 3 artist proofs of each design.
Okay.
People don't know that.
Yeah.
So, but they're just like in bags.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I can really see this moving into something where there's people out there that will just collect every single one that you drop.
Dude, so I released last year. Oh, so then last year again, my inspiration was DesignerCon, right?
Yes.
So then I was like, I'm gonna get a booth at DesignerCon.
Yeah.
Fuck, there's like a huge wait list. People have been on it for like 2 years, can't get a booth.
No.
Yeah, it's been madness trying to get a booth there. Last year, 2018, they upgraded their venue to the Anaheim Convention Center, so it was bigger. They started accepting more people. I was fortunate to meet the dudes from Enamel Market, and they had like a full on like a show inside that show of just like pin vendors, right?
Okay.
So if you signed up through them, you were guaranteed access to get into DesignerCon through the Enamel Market alley.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
So like for me, it's like all I'm selling is pins, so that's perfect for myself.
Yeah.
Because all I'm gonna do is sell pins.
Okay.
So I did a few exclusives. One of the ones that I did was a DeLorean from Back to the Future, and it did well at the show. I had a few. I put them online. They sold out. Boom. Right. So I found one extra like maybe 2 months afterwards. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to, I put it on my Instagram. I'm like, I'm gonna put it on eBay. If anybody wants to go bid, I'm gonna start the bid at $1.
Yeah,
dude, that motherfucker sold for like 100 and something bucks.
No,
just one spin out. Yeah, like for me, it's like, dude, that's some huge fanatic. Shout out to that guy. And it was like a random pin. And when I remember when it sold for that much, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna give him my personal 1 out of 150. Because I just felt that they deserved it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fucking amazing. So even now, if you fucking go on eBay, like this one specifically, like they go for like $35.
Really?
Yeah, and you can buy these. That's the amazing thing about these. These weren't for sale.
Yeah.
But people were collecting them, getting doubles and shit, just so they can sell some on eBay.
No
I got
way,
people hitting me up like, yo, I bought these off eBay. Trying to get the whole SEMA set.
Wow, stuff like that. I've always been into collecting.
Right. And I think that's definitely played a huge role, like you mentioned, right? Like the marketing aspect of it. And again, for me, that came secondary, where I was like, damn, I have something cool here. And then seeing the way that people collect Hot Wheels, I wanted to do the same with them. So I started branding them as like they're collectibles, they're numbered. There's some of them are limited edition. I started creating a new, I wouldn't say a series, but I started doing open editions now. Basically kind of going after like the whole the way Cause, the vinyl toys. I don't know if you follow Cause.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he does that too, and I think it's a good way to kind of keep both, because I got like designs like a lot of my fan art stuff, like the Jurassic Park stuff, that they sell really well. And if I only cap them like at a limited edition, that's then I'm just thinking like, fuck, there's a huge population of fans that like Star Wars, and if I only cap it at only 200, then those other extra thousands of people will never be able to get their hands on it. So I'll create an open edition mold for it, which would be open edition, meaning I restock them,
Yeah.
I'll post to something like that's limited edition, it's numbered, that will never come back.
Just like Nikes, like Jordans, exactly. Like they have just the regular ones that you can go to Foot Locker, and then they have the retros.
Yeah, exactly, and they have like different variants, so that's kind of what I started doing, doing open edition on different variants.
I never knew that there was a word for it. So open edition, yeah. So what do you have available as open edition pins?
It's mainly all my fan art stuff and Hondas. Yeah,
really?
Honda stuff. Yeah, Hondas are crazy.
Yeah, so just like a regular EG or something.
I have the EFs, the EKs, the ITR, the Integra Type R. Those are all open editions.
And just no logos, no nothing, just regular color car.
Yeah, I don't. And that's one thing that I've never done. I've never used any company logo without permission or without like licensing. Because I don't know. I don't want to get sued or get a fucking cease and desist letter, like, from these big corporation companies. And and it's been crazy because I had Subaru hit me up. And when I saw the Subaru email, I was like, fuck, what the fuck are they going to say? They're like, yo, I love your pins. How can we get some done?
No.
So
dude,
expect that drop coming out pretty soon.
Oh, shit. That's awesome, man. Wow.
Yeah. So, and it's one of those things that when people always ask me, like, can you get in trouble for it? I don't know.
Dude,
I hope not.
Ask for forgiveness, not for permission, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of the stuff that we do, man, like, even t-shirt designs and things that. It's just like, bro, this is my creativity. This is what I want to do, whether it looks like a certain design or you get the inspiration from something else. Like, if they ever want to send me some shit, it's like, okay, whatever. I just won't sell it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And my main concern is not really like a Honda pin or something like that, but more like the Jurassic Park stuff. That, motion picture stuff is where, that's one of the reasons why I haven't done Fast and Furious just yet.
Yeah, that's a little too close to the fire, man.
But I mean, think about like the DeLorean, Back to the Future, fucking, I did, what other one did I do that was pretty good? You might be able to get away with it, but the only reason I say this is a little too close is because it's actually in the automotive community. Right. I did the Initial D ones too. Like that one was, like, fuck, am I gonna get something for Funimation? Yeah. Fuck it, just do it. Whatever. Who cares? I'll help you out with the fees, bro. Yeah, that's hey, good. I got 50 on it. No, you'll be good, dude. It's funny. That's what one of the dudes from Race Service told me. He was like, dude, just fucking do it. Just do it. Don't worry about it. If they tell you to fucking stop selling them, then fuck it, stop. Just stop. That's it. But I see all these, like, and that's another thing too. Like, if you go on my Instagram, my first few posts, like you scrolled all the way to yeah. So you went all the way to the beginning. a lot of my stuff in the beginning was all just art.
Yeah.
Right? Like all graphics. I got to a point where I stopped doing that because I realized my designs for pins are stupid simplified, right? So, and if you go, obviously, if you're on Instagram, you see all these dope ass graphic artists that are pushing their artwork out there on Instagram and really dope designs, you know? And I'm like, I don't want to compare myself to them because, first of all, I can probably do what you guys are doing, but I don't because my art that I'm doing is for pins, you know? So my shit doesn't have gradients, doesn't have shading or highlights or all that extra detail, you know? Because of that reason, because you won't see it, you know? Obviously, it's just mainly like fill-in and line work. So I actually stopped sharing a lot of my art, you know? So a lot of people didn't even know what I was dropping next, you know, until I actually had the product. And I tried to take more physical pictures of the product, you know? Now I started doing a little bit of trickle, like kind of giving little sneaks, like, yo, this was dropping next or some shit like that. But for the most part, I kind of don't share all the new stuff that I have coming in.
Yeah.
Until I have it in hand. Yeah.
That's
just
really
for that
cool.
reason. Just because there's a lot of graphic artists out there, you know, and, you know.
And like those pictures that you take, man, they make the product look really awesome.
Shout out to Bustamante Photos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's who takes your pictures?
Yeah, my homie takes all the pictures.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, man. I'm a shitty photographer.
So since I'm sure a lot of people have noticed the popularity of the pins coming up, have you seen a lot of other companies doing what you're doing?
Yeah, man. That's funny that you
speak on it.
Yeah,
I've been through that shit. I've been through that shit so many times, dude. I know how it goes.
It's funny because this past show that I did the pins for you. I noticed there was like 3 other vendors with pins.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Just pins or
no, they can never. Not that they can never do that, but I think they're barely starting.
Okay.
And then there's definitely other vendors selling pins, you know.
And you knew that they weren't through you?
Oh, 100% they weren't from me. You know, they probably got inspired from me and they probably saw my stuff, you know, and stuff like that. I don't want to put them on blast, but, you know.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something that's always been my thing. Like, fuck, you know, people are going to copy my shit. But then I think back, like, well, pins have been along for a very long time. I can't really say I own that shit. Yeah. You know? Especially card pins, you know. You till now I find like vintage pins from like fucking the 80s or some shit, the 70s of just vintage, you know, old school pins. And I think what makes my stuff different is that I'm actually the artist. I'm the one that's fucking designing these stuff and giving it a twist, you know. I'm not just fucking tracing a car and here you go, here's your pin, you know. I'm kind of giving it my style. And again, being able to fine tune it, you know, I've been able to give it some details. There was a dude that actually fucking ripped off one of my designs.
Really?
Yeah, straight up, you know.
From the Honda community?
No.
Or the automotive community?
From like doing pins and shit. You know? Like he wanted to get into he was doing pins and he wanted to get into the car pins and I hit him up in the DM. I was like, yo, dude, like that's my design. Like that.
It was your exact design.
It was very similar.
Okay.
You know, the whole like micro kind of feel to it and same profile.
Yeah.
Same color tones, I feel, you know. Like there's things that I can catch up on. Like, yo, like that seat, like that silhouette of a seat, like that's not the actual seat that's in the actual car. That's something that I put in there just to complement that you can see. You know, the side view mirror. Yeah. That's something that I know that I designed that the way I did, that you would have probably done it differently if you would have, you know, shit like that. So he was just like, oh, my bad. I'll let my artist know. I got an artist to do my shit, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, cool. Just, you know, I'm like, yo, if you need help, just let me know. Just, you know, I don't want to be a dick, but I was putting him out, you know, and he changed up the design, didn't put it in production. Because he had just shared like the art, I think.
Oh, got you.
So it wasn't like the full production thing. That was the only thing that I definitely put it off. But now I definitely see more pin companies or whatever you want to call them start doing more cars and more catered to tuner stuff. Yeah. You know? And I mean, it is what it is, right? Like you can't really like.
Yeah, there's really nothing you can do about it. It's really unfortunate, but. I mean, it shows the influence that you have.
Correct. Yeah, that's one of the things that, you know, my friends tell me, my girl, it's just like yo, you're already set the bar high. Like if they're gonna come after you, they're gonna have to top out your shit. So that's one of the things why I always try to be a little bit innovative too. Oh, it's more than just a pin, you know. And I think that's kind of the route that I want to do. Just keep setting the bar high.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna take a quick break for our sponsors, and we'll be back in 1 minute. Yo, what's up, fool? Make sure you check out Downstar for all of your dress-up needs. Get it poppin' over here. We have all the kits for the K series, the B series, the transmission, the mounts, the engine, the Toro, baby. We have the hardware for the seats, for the stereo. We got it for the speakers. We got it for the lug nuts. We got it for the air valves. We got it for everything, dog. So you make sure you hit us up at downstarinc.com or you call us up, fool. You can even text us, lame, 818-937-3472. Just shoot us a text and tell us what's up, dog. I need some fucking balls in this bitch. Hit us up, downstarinc.com. Hey, and if you got an Instagram, slide in our fucking DM at Downstar. Wait, hit up the homie, Frank_Downstar. He's the one that takes care of all the DMs. Hit that level up and shoot him a message and he'll get you all taken care of real nicely. One thing that really helped us out, because like I said, we've been in business since 2009. Right. And when we first came in, there wasn't really anybody doing any hardware stuff like we were doing. And of course, since the popularity of the brand would grow, people see us going to shows and stuff, and then seeing it popping up on the other people's cars. Of course, the light bulb's gonna go off. Of course, I can do that too.
Exactly, totally.
And then, but what they can't do is they can't be me, and I have to focus on that. That's what, like, 50% is the product, the other 50% is the marketing, and I'm so confident in my marketing and what I bring to the brand myself personally that I don't think that there's anybody that can be competition or that would even affect the way that things are going, and it took me a long time to have that mentality, because a lot of it was like, probably goes, get there. This is like, this is my territory. This is what I'm doing. This is my lane. Before me, there wasn't a lane.
That's kind of how I feel. Like, it's like, the way that I see it, it's like, man, like, you might be doing it for the fun. Like, I'm feeding my family.
Exactly, with this shit, dude. Like, you're fucking around right now. You still have your regular job, and you're just like, he's doing it. I might as well. Like, that's just not right. But
totally.
At the end of the day, that just shows their character. That just shows what kind of person that they are.
And exactly that. And again, it's kind of hard to be like, man, don't be fucking doing car pins, bro. Like, I'm already doing that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no, how do you say, like, I can't say that because I didn't create it. But best believe, if you fucking start mocking my fucking, ripping off my style and shit, like, oh, micro fucking cars, and like, one thing that has always stayed consistent with my branding is that I only do site profiles. And the way that I see it is because when you have those, whether you have 1 pin or 10 pins or 40 pins, when you see them all laid out, they're all going to be facing the same direction.
Yeah, it's kind of like uniform.
Yeah, and when you go to, like, back then when, R.I.P. Toys R Us, fucking, you see the Hot Wheels section. Even if you go now to, like, Target and shit, like, you see all the Hot Wheels lined up the same exact way.
It's the details, man.
And I think I've always liked that, so I wanted to always just keep my branding the same and consistent. So all these other ones that I've seen pop up, like, do mixtures, they're all over the place. You know? And I feel like, okay, cool, whatever. Just don't get in my lane, like, fully, because then I will put you on blast.
Yeah, it's hard, man. And I've been in that position too, and I've done the whole put people on blast. And it's like, at the end of the day, that shit just makes me feel like shit, bro. It's just like, it's not something that I want to be involved in. And it's very hard, bro, because me as a person, I'm like, I'm about confrontation. Not about fighting or anything, but I'm about what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, totally.
And when it comes down to, like, what we do, like the niche market of things, it's really hard, because you're gonna have those people that are just like, well, I'll do it too, because they just don't have any creativity inside of them. So how I kind of look at it is like, yo, that's my son. That's that brand, whatever they're doing, that's my child, because that is from an idea that I created, an idea that I started, an idea that I like stopped drinking for, that I changed my whole lifestyle for, that I saved my own money and flew out to these places because I didn't know if it was gonna pop. I didn't know what it was gonna be. Just like you, it was, you quit your job. You know, you when bills were tough, you decided, yo, instead of putting money into that, I'm gonna put it into this, and I'm gonna see where it rocks. And we're the ones that made the foundation of it. And these people, they catch the wave, and it's cool, man. You know, get whatever part you're gonna get out of it, but you're never gonna be what I am, because like I'm the one that created this. It's undeniable. You know, it's undeniable that you're the one that started this off, and it's just like. It's a lot of wasted energy to even focus on that. Yeah, totally. You know, and it really took me a long time to learn that. I went through a lot of tough lessons, public lessons that I had to go through.
Yeah, but see, I haven't put my shit out there like that yet.
Yeah, you know? It's
but yeah, no, you're totally right. You know, that was kind of my thing too. Like, fuck, man. Like, I get it. You know, you want to make pins too. But
only a creative person really understands, because it's not about pins. It's not about making money. This is like my idea. This is what I came up with. This is what I was sitting at home and just thinking like, oh, this would be such a cool idea, you know?
And you know, and then reflecting on that too, like how I mentioned at first, like I wasn't aware of any other person or brand catering specifically car pins to the car community. There might have been like, again, there might have been another pin company that did a car pin,
along with definitely
with everything else that they've been doing, but not just fully strictly catering to car enthusiasts. You know, and that's one thing that I've always stayed consistent of. Like, you don't see me doing no fucking, you know, like Simpsons fucking pin drop or fucking whatever the fuck, you know. I do a lot of pin shows, you know. I do a lot of pin events.
Yeah, I saw that you got the one coming up in San Diego, right?
San Diego's coming up. So stuff like that, you know, and it's one of those things, like it's and now I know how to better prepare for those type of shows. Yeah, because the people that go to those shows go for those type of pins, for those mashup fucking Rick and Morty pins. Or fucking really cool, you know, take on their favorite cartoon or movie, whatever, you know. And a lot of these other pin artists that are out there, they definitely do a good way to kind of cater to their own community or to their own fan base. So when I pull up there and I'm like, all I saw is car pins, you know, and it's like you have Hondas and Subarus, and it's like, well, I'm not here for that shit, you know? Yeah. So how do you cater to something for them? I started creating fan art stuff. That's how you have, like, that's what I started doing, like the Jurassic Park vehicles, the Jeep, the Explorer, you know, Back to the Future stuff, Initial D, everybody knows Initial D, you know, stuff like that. So I just recently did the Cheech and Chong for 420.
Oh, okay. No way.
The Love Machine. Okay. You know, so stuff like that. People can relate to that kind of shit, you know.
Did you do the Scooby-Doo one?
I haven't done the Scooby-Doo, you know, and I was very hesitant to do the DeLorean for that reason, but because those are very popular and people have already done them, you know. And it's like, how do I keep... I remember when I did the DeLorean, I had put out like a whole like poll on my Instagram and was getting feedback from people, because some dude, I forgot his Instagram name, and I till this day, yo, if you've watched this, fucking hit me up, because I forgot your fucking name. But he showed me a whole pin board that he collects of nothing from Back to the Future, and there was at least like 20 to 30 variants of just DeLoreans. Yeah, he goes like, dude, fucking do it, like do your DeLorean, because your style is so different. Like nobody has done a DeLorean like you're gonna do it,
detailed.
Guaranteed. Yeah. And he showed me like a bunch of different DeLoreans, you know. Some of them were fucking amazing, like fucking the door flips up and down and shit, you know? So when he showed me that, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, you know. So same thing, like the Scooby-Doo bus, you know, the Mystery Machine. It's because there's like 5 that I've seen already. They're dope, you know. They're like, oh, that's fucking dope. But at the same time, it's like you're gonna be able to just do your own, you know. So that's kind of my thing. Like eventually I'll do it, because these pin shows, I feel that a lot of those people go for that, you know. But now even more so, like this last show that I did, which is the Patches and Pin Expo, was in Santa Ana. Dude, there was a huge fucking wave of people coming just for my car pins, you know?
No.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope to see that, you know? And they were grabbing everything and anything that was available, you know, from the Evos to the Hondas to the Subarus.
So what's your general pricing on them?
Usually they vary. At shows, it's usually always $10 a pin.
Okay.
It's you know, mentality. You know, people want to spend something quick. That if you start charging $12, $15, and they got a $20 bill, they don't want to break a $20 bill, you know? But if it's $10 and they know, just get $10 back, you know.
Any discount for multiple?
I stopped doing that. Okay. I stopped doing that, you know, and it's because it was very competitive with all these other pin vendors.
Got
you. You're at and it's only at pin shows that I see this. It's like you have pin vendors doing like 3 pins for $20, 3 pins for $25 or whatever, or $18, and I'm like, fuck, I don't. And then it goes back to that, like, I'm an artist first, besides a pin maker, so I don't want to lowball my art,
definitely,
just because everyone else is. So I just strictly $10. You know, I got people like will come to my show and drop like $200. You know, no fucking discount, man.
Yeah, dude. And
I'll give them love though. I'll give them some free pins and shit. You know, but it goes back to that, because if you go to my online store, they'll be ranging from $12 to $15. You know, but if you find a pin that's online for $15, you'll probably find it for $10 at the show.
Yeah, that's where it comes from, dude. Like that wholeness that we say is like the no discount. You know, support my hustle.
Right. Oh yeah, I like that for sure.
Yeah, is because that's. I'm not competing with anybody else. You know, if you go to a show and somebody has hardware for $10 and we're selling it for $20, and the $10 hardware will do the same thing in your eyes, go with that one, dude. It's all good. You know, what we offer it's not for you. So that's cool. You know, what I want my stuff to be is when somebody sees a car that's top to bottom Downstar, they know that this owner of this car, they put a lot of their time and money and effort into having that into their car. So it's not like, oh, well, maybe they got it on Labor Day and it was a big sale or something. No, dude, we do one sale a year, and that's Black Friday.
That's funny. Yeah,
Bolt Friday,
here, man.
And that's it, dude. It's like you said, like an artist. You know, art is not just something that you paint on the wall. Art could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's your expression of who you are inside. And when I do these washers, when I do these kits, like to some people it's just like, oh yeah, it's just a washer, it's just a color. Like to me it's really artwork, because when I see it, I'm seeing something that somebody else isn't seeing. And it's just like you know, when the guy shows you the poster board of DeLoreans, and you're like, I'm sure you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, that one's whack, or that one doesn't have no detail, you know, that bled over or something like that. So you bring something to the table, and it's not just a pin.
Right.
This
exactly
represents who you are.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it is, for sure.
That's really cool, man. You have something cool here, and shoot, I wish I would have known about the company from the jump, because I would have tried to collected all of them that you came out with.
I got people hitting me up like, yo, they'll send me lists like, where can I find these? I'm like,
no way.
Good luck, man. Maybe eBay.
Really?
Yeah.
So how has you know, facilitating the actual business side of it been, meaning somebody places an order like Alex has ordered a lot of pins from you just from the website.
How long do I take to ship? I was gonna say a fucking long time.
So
I think it's a long time.
What is your shipping terms, and how does it work when an order comes to you? How do you know when it comes to you, and what's the process from you getting the order to the customer getting the product?
Damn, everybody's gonna be disappointed right now. I get alerted right away. I get alerted on my phone. It's I have the Shopify app, so I use Shopify.
So say you got an order that would come in. Okay.
The only thing that's been lacking, again, I'm everything, right? From shipping to relationships to fucking clients to design work, fucking everything.
One man shop.
I'll have a homie or my girl come and help me from time to time, but for the most part, it's just me, you know? If you're lucky, if you order the same day, and it's a day that's been after the drops, after I've shipped on my order, you'll probably get it right away, because I'll ship it that same day. But like my recent drop that I did was last Friday I got bombarded with so many orders, haven't even touched them yet, you know?
So Friday and it's Tuesday.
Dude,
that's nothing, bro. We have our shit 5 to 7 business days.
Yeah, same here.
Meaning,
that's what I have.
Do not bug me
man.
Until it's coming like 7 days. Chill. You know, and it's always been that. It's always been 5 to 7 business days because we have to have a grace period. Yeah. You know, sometimes we have 20 different style washers in 10 different styles or in 10 different colors. Right. It's like, bro, I don't have these on deck like thousands at a time. You know, this stuff it's expensive. It's expensive to have this inventory. And sometimes green will never sell. And then you're going to get an order like 4 in a week, like, oh, green. And they want everything like, damn, dude, you know, we need kind of a grace period. And I think a lot of people, they understand that they really don't trip a lot.
I just made a post not so long ago. It was actually a repost from a brand that I follow and that I get inspiration from. They're called Slush Cult.
Okay.
They're more like they're more about apparel and, you know, creating these cool unique items, and they also do a few pins. But one thing that he had posted was like, dude, we're not Amazon, you know. I think people are so, even me, like I'm so used to buying something on Amazon and expecting it fucking next day.
Definitely.
Like I'm paying fucking Prime membership, right? Like, give me that shit.
Give me it. I want it now.
I think that mentality gets stuck with people when they're supporting small businesses. It definitely does. You know, that where it's like, yo, I placed my order 2 days ago. Where the fuck is it?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, yo, chill.
Yeah.
So I do get that a lot. I do have my terms thing, and I think it's a little hidden because people sometimes don't see it, but it is 5 to 7 business days as well.
Oh shit, nice.
But sometimes I take fucking 2 weeks, man.
I mean, it is like, what it is, dude.
Yeah, and it's not like that. I'm just like, oh, I'm just slacking off. It's like because I still have more designs to pump up. Yeah, I'm at meetings or fucking, you know, family time, whatever it is. You know, it's just like shipping definitely takes a huge toll, and it's like one thing that, you know, I'm sure you guys handle this shit. It's like it takes time, you know, from printing the labels, going through the inventory, package them, make sure they're packaged well so you don't get them fucked up, you know, like all that shit, you know, takes time, you know, especially when I do a drop. Lately all my drops have been kind of quote unquote supreme drops, you know, like they'll sell out in like fucking an hour or 2, you know. So fucking I have 5 new pins, and each of those pins are limited edition. I have like over 100 to 150 in stock, and they all sell out in like 2 hours. Fuck, that's a lot of pins to back, you know? Yeah. And the thing is that people don't know this is that they don't come pre-packaged like this.
Really?
No, they don't. So it's the pin by itself.
Okay.
I get the cards printed locally from a shop in LA. Let's Print LA. Out in like downtown. So
yeah, you just brought us our cards, dude. I'm stoked, man. Those look hard.
So each pin is literally punctured in fucking one by one, you know.
Wow.
So I don't know if people don't know that. You can get them from the manufacturing packed already. But for me, what makes it cool too is that the back card always changes, whether it's a different
definitely
stuff like that, you know. So sometimes I have to get stuck packing first, like, you know, 500 pins before they get shipped out, you know. And then sorting them out with whatever ordered what, you know.
Got you.
So, and sometimes, you know, it's usually mainly always the new customers. Shout out to you guys. Hopefully you guys get addicted, you know. But just know that it does take a while sometimes, you know. Sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes, you know, I'm packing orders that same day, and you get an order comes in. Fuck it, let's pack it. And the dude's like, dude, fast shipping, amazing.
Yeah. No, we have that happen sometimes too. The people will be like, hey, I haven't received my order yet. Like, when is it coming? And I say, dude, we asked for 5 to 7 business days. You ordered it on Friday night, and it's Monday. Like, chill, bro.
I get that too. Like the people that order like on the weekend and shit, and it's like, and it's like, so it happens. But I mean, I try not to be a dick about it, you know.
Nah, dude, it's because what you have to realize is that like they are so excited to have what you're offering.
Correct.
And that's dope, man. That's so dope. And exactly. We've built such a relationship with all of our customers that, like, if there's something that's going to take a lot longer than our regular terms, I'll hit them up. I'm like, yo, bro, I apologize. Like, this is what the situation is. And I'm like, don't even worry about it, dude. Our car's still in paint. Like, it's no big deal. And then, you know, flow them a t-shirt or something like that. As long as you're communicating with them, dude, there's no problem, bro. But there's a lot of those companies that don't. Is that they'll get that email in and they'll just toss it to the side, and then these people are like, yo, what's really good, like, you can't even email me back. And that's where customer service really comes into.
And that's another thing. It's like, fuck, I get it. I get emails, that I got to reply to. And, if one day my email's dead for a day, the next day it's busy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's just like catching up. And one thing that I don't even know how to make clear is that I'm going to stop taking orders via DM. Like, everybody hits me up, like, customize, like, hey, how much for a custom pin and shit, and it's just like, I'll get like that. I'll get people that'll be like, yo, I just want one.
Oh shit. Like, nah, dude, that's not how it works, bro.
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm trying to find a way. I thought I had a cool setup on my Instagram. You know how you can like archive your little fucking I gotta make it clear, like, yo, you gotta order a minimum, and now even that, like, now I'm even thinking, like, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine that's actually been a huge influencer and, like, part of my what's going on. And one thing that I might do is kind of just change the whole being focused on being an artist first.
Gotcha.
Than just a pin maker, because not that how do I say it the nicest way possible, but like, if you got a fucking regular Honda, like, I'm not gonna want to pin that shit,
No, definitely, dude. And
because then it comes down to like, oh, you're just pinning anyone. Like, how does that make it exclusive to this,
Yeah.
So I kind of want to
get
away from maybe just kind of doing like a screening system, like the way that fucking you get accepted to these high-end car events,
Yeah,
like, not
hell yeah,
can just get
dude.
in there. I kind of want to maybe start focusing on, not that your car isn't the shit, or you shouldn't appreciate your car, because I think everyone, like, I drive a regular Subaru Forester, it's not souped up or anything, but I love my car. Not that you shouldn't, but I think, like, as far as like my branding and the art form, like, I'm gonna stay, because I'll get people hitting me up like, oh, I like a fucking, like, I have a stock this, and I want this pen, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna be doing any stock cars or stuff like
that. I feel you, dude. And one thing is that like, this is your brand,
right?
This is gonna go how you want it to go, and however people interpret it, hey, it is what it is. Like, I'll have people that'll hit us up and be like, hey, how do we become a dealer? I'm like, we're not taking dealers right now. It's like, don't call me, I'll call you, because I don't know how you do business. I don't know how you represent yourself online. I don't know who you're even going to put our stuff next to. I don't want Downstar next to some other brand that whether I don't agree with them, I just don't agree with how they do business, how they represent themselves in the community.
Right.
It's not about. It's hard for people to understand, dude, but it's not about money, dude.
Yeah.
Money is a tool to me, right? So how I like to tell people is that, say you're a mechanic, right? You spend all your time and money on getting a big Snap-on box, and you have every single tool, right? So that's the money. You're collecting as much money. Okay, what are you gonna do with all those tools? What are you gonna do with all the money that you have? I only need a certain amount of money where it's going to take care of my bills, take care of my family, take care of our lifestyle. And then other than that, it's a tool for, hey, now I want to invest in, like I was telling you with the shirts.
Yeah.
Like, I want a shirt that has this design on it. Yeah, maybe it's not going to sell a lot, but it doesn't matter. This is what I want to do. This is where I want it to go. So it's not like, yo, I'm missing out on money because I'm not letting this shop have our stuff in it. It was like, dude, it's not about that. This is about my brand, and this is what I want Downstar to represent to anybody. And it's just like this is what Leen Customs represent. It's not just like, yo, you give me money, okay, I'll make your car. Like, no, this is I'm an artist before any of this stuff.
Yeah, and I think kind of that's exactly why, because I was like, so I had closed my custom orders for a few months because I was kind of, I had to pull back because of that, because I was like, fuck, I'm focusing and spending all my time on fulfilling all these custom orders for people where I haven't had time to really express any of my love for some of these cars. Like, I want to do a collection of this, do a collection of that, like, I haven't had a chance to do all that. So I'm going to stop taking orders and just focus on a collection of cars that I like, things that I know that people would appreciate, and by doing that, I still saw that there's still a wave of people trying to fuck with me, So when I was like, okay, I'm gonna check my emails and go through a custom list, dude, it was like fucking over 60 orders, 60 inquiries, and I don't know how many of those were serious or not, but I have to find a way to learn how to. I have to find a way to filter it to where it's like, okay, I'll fuck with your car.
Yeah.
Or, stuff like that, because I had like a regular fucking Honda CR-V or some shit like that, and it's just like
yeah, no, people have to understand, man. And even going back to the whole dealer thing that I was saying, they have to be able to understand that, like, yo, we're not for people that are just opening up accounts with people and just selling things. We want somebody that's part of the culture. We want somebody that when we go to a show, we see them setting up right next to us, and they're on their hustle. Right. Yeah. So if you're not on your hustle, if you're not somebody that's trying to push the community forward, like, that's kind of not the route that we're going
right.
So it's just however you want to build things, man. And,
that makes sense.
And I know what you mean. You kind of feel a little guilty on it. It's just like, yo, it's not saying that your company or your car isn't quote unquote good enough.
Right.
It's just everybody has a different lane that they're going down, and what you're bringing to the table isn't kind of the lane that we're going down.
Right. Exactly.
So if this is something that you want to be part of, like, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want. And I've had people that they wanted to hit us up for accounts, and then maybe a few years later, I ended up seeing him at a show, and we're talking, and I'm like, yo, this dude's a really good guy.
Yeah.
And they're on their hustle, and they're trying to they're trying to make something of themselves, and I'm like, okay, cool. This is somebody that I want to deal with, because this isn't somebody that I picture as just being in it for the moment.
Right.
Like you said, where the guys that are just, hey, we see the wave. This guy's selling all kinds of pins. I can go to where Alibaba and get some pins done.
Exactly.
But it's not the same thing.
Yeah, totally.
Even if you're able to offer the pins.
Yeah.
Like, do you have the same details? Is it as detailed? Like, are you as detailed with your manufacturer? No, it's not going to be like that.
Right.
Because that's what sets people apart.
And I think also some of these people, some of them may or may not even be the graphic artists. Some of them may just get art from, like, hey, and I get that. I get that too. Like, hey, I got this art render done by a graphic artist. Can you pin this? And automatically, I'm not going to pin someone else's art. That's number one thing, So if you come up with me, I'll do a logo, stuff like that. But like, if it's a car design, I won't pin it. Just because it's not my art. Like, you can fucking, exactly, Google fucking custom pins. Fucking, you want to do that shit? Do that shit yourself.
Yeah. Good deal, dude. That's really cool that like, you're not just taking it as pins. It's like you have a passion.
Yeah,
it's your name, dude.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what's different, and I want to set myself different, and I think that's going to be the next wave of raising the bar, and like I wanted to continue to fucking 10 years from now and be like, yo, I got a Leen pin, like,
yeah. Definitely can, man. For anybody that's saying that it's just like a fad or something, what you have to think is like, yo, I created this fad.
Yeah, people, I've had conversations like that with good friends. It's like, what's next? Like, what happens when the pin craze dies or something? And I'm like, fuck it, ain't gonna die with me.
It's not gonna die, dude.
It's like, I'm gonna keep pushing, bro. Like, there's no, I mean, like, yeah, you're right. Everything, they're fidget spinners, right?
Yeah.
But nah, this ain't that. This ain't that. I think the car industry or the car culture has been around longer than I have.
Yeah.
Shit, you've been in it for 10 years. I think I can do it 10 years.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
So I think it just got to be, the pace has to be right. The momentum has to keep going, and you just got to keep pushing. I think that's primarily it.
Now, I was looking at your Instagram, and it's we mentioned the San Diego Pin and Patch Con. It's coming up.
Yes.
So you're gonna have a booth there?
Yes, I'll have a booth there. I'm actually working on a new project booth, man. I don't know if you saw it, if you were scrolling on my Instagram. I actually got a K-van.
Okay. Yeah. You were telling me that iBox that's what you were going to be working on.
So that's, exactly. So that's, I hope if I can to unveil it at that show, at the Patches, Pin and Patch Con. If for whatever reason timing doesn't work out, it will definitely be at Week Fest, San Jose.
Nice.
So that was crazy, man, because I had that idea. I've always, and again, being in the cycling industry, doing all these fucking trade shows, I was in charge of creative, direction as far as how we're gonna represent our brand, And my main thing was like, fuck a canopy, fuck a fucking regular setup, like a fucking trade show setup.
Yeah.
Like little banners and shit. Like, let's get creative. Let's fucking build walls. Let's fucking build booths and fucking So every show that I did with the company, we upped it a little bit more and more, and we created some cool stuff. And I think I always took that into consideration. So when when I did my first show, or like my first pin show, it was just I got just a little table booth, a little, kind of try to display it a little bit different than anybody else would. But right off the bat, I was like, I want to do something different. I want to display it something different. And I've always been a fan of these little fucking pop-up vans, whether it's a fucking step van or little fucking those trailers that they haul around, little boutique fucking accessory stores and shit. I've always been a fan of those. So I was like, I want to get one that I can use for pins for my brand. That wasn't coming fast, so I got those walls made.
Yeah, the ones that you had at Tuner Evolution.
Yes. So those were at first I had my homie build them for me, made out of wood. Fucking, we went to Home Depot, bought these fucking exposed.
Is it the same as this?
I mean, I don't think it has a dark outline, but it's the ones from Home Depot.
Oh, okay, yeah, these ones are for Lowe's, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing. So we basically build like an L shape, 2 walls. One has my big ass logo, one was made for pins, and people were loving it. And the thing that kind of stuck with that was hauling it around.
Yeah,
it was kind of hard to haul. So I met another dude in the pin game or whatever.
Yeah.
And he had a cool booth too, and he had it made out of aluminum. So I was like, "Yo, what's up with the plug?" He was cool enough to send me the guy that made his stuff. So basically recreate the same walls but made out of steel and aluminum.
Okay.
So they were a little bit lighter and easier to haul. They were thinner, because I had 2x4s. Now it's like you stack 4 of those, it's like fucking thick,
definitely.
So we basically was able to fucking a little bit more than half, as far as stacking up. And so I've been using that as my booth, and the bigger shows that I do where I get like a 10x10 setup, So now with this K-Van, I hope to just ditch those walls and just use that as like, full on like customized for pins, and still have kind of like a custom wall that kind of just stretches on.
I know that we've been talking about you headed out to Grid Life IBOC in Atlanta.
Grid Life. What's up?
Grid Life, yeah. And I was wondering, we were talking about that. We might have even been talking about that at Tuner Evo. But like, what are you gonna do when you have to fly to places, or do you have anything like that?
Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to find out as far as logistics go. Even with WeekFest, because that's a show that's coming up in San Jose. It's like I need to find a shipping.
That's still a drive.
Transporter.
Yeah.
No, I not that I can't drive that fucking van out, but I don't want to drive out there. So I think my main thing is gonna find a shipping transporter company that can just haul it to the show. I'll fly to the show. And
the car.
Yes.
Got you.
So transport the vehicle to the destination. I'll fly to the destination, do the show, haul it back on the transporter, and I'll fly back.
What about just like a car dolly and just trailer it with
I was thinking that too. Like fucking, I think my Subaru can haul that shit. It's pretty lightweight. I probably do that for more local stuff.
Got you.
Like I don't know I guess I can endure a fucking San Francisco drive.
Yeah.
But San Diego. Like if I did the San Diego, I was thinking I'll fucking drive that shit to San Diego.
Yeah.
Like I'll drive that shit.
Now, is it right-hand drive?
It's right-hand drive.
Is it registered or anything, or?
It's registered in Texas.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out to Texas.
Where'd you get the car
Classic,
at?
Man. Shinku Classics.
Where's that?
They're located in Houston, Texas.
So okay.
They basically just they're a dealership of nothing but imported cars, mainly Japanese cars.
Okay.
R32s, FCs, all that good stuff. They pretty much have a good selection of cars. So when I spoke to him, I gave him my idea because he hit me up and he wanted to get some pins made. So we had a cool relationship, right off the bat. So the first car that I was into was one of those like Sambar or those Honda Acti trucks, like those mini trucks, you know?
Oh, the key trucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Acti, I think it's called.
ACTY. Yeah,
that shit. So
those are dope.
Yeah, so there's one that's a Subaru model.
Oh, really?
It's called the Sambar.
Okay.
Yeah, so at first I was like, dude, I want that. It's a fucking little truck. And he actually, I got the idea off of him because he started something called what's the fucking Okashi snack truck.
Okay.
Which is basically he was setting up at some car events or car meets, and he was selling like snacks, you know, and he built like this cool little like trailer for it that pops up, and you know, it's cool little like pop-up thing. And I was like, dude, that's fucking dope. I want something like that for my pins, because again, my inventory is easier to haul.
Hell yeah.
Smaller, you know.
Yeah. So, you're lucky on that one, man, for sure.
So I was like, okay, well, let's try to find one, you know. And he had a really dope one. It was a nice like micro van. It wasn't a truck, it was a micro van. And the idea was that same way you open doors, like the van doors, I would create this wall when you open it, and there's fucking a pin.
Got you.
So, but at that time I didn't have the funds for it. You know, that's when I had barely just quit my job. I was waiting on Toyo had contacted me, so I was waiting on that Toyo money to kick in, and I'm like, yo, I could probably buy it once Toyo check comes in, you know.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things, like, do I really want to spend all this money that I just earned on this thing, you know? And my girl was like, nah, just fucking wait, you know?
You gotta keep flipping.
Yeah, so pretty much, bro. She was like, nah, just wait. So she convinced me to wait, or else I would have fucking done it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the outcome would have been.
It's always good to have a good girl on your side, bro. But they think logically.
Yeah, right. But I definitely waited. So I waited, and then as I was still kind of searching, you know, and when I was ready to buy it, he already sold it, I think, like the week before. So I was like, fuck. I was like, it's all good, you know. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
And I was just searching, and then I found the fucking Daihatsu mirror walkthrough van, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is fucking insanely looking.
Yeah.
And I started researching it, kind of getting more to know about it, and sure enough, I was like, I think I want this. I think this will definitely fit in with what I have. So I basically gave him the specs that to look for, you know. He was out in Japan in February, I think, or January of this year. And I think it was January when he was for Tokyo
Auto Salon. Yes,
that was January.
Yeah,
right?
It was in January.
So then, yeah, he was out there, and he was like, "Yo, I came across this one. Do you want it?" I was like, "What?" And I saw it. And he was like, "The only thing is that I can't drive it because this is a whole different city in Japan. But you know, like, it's for sale if you want it." And it's like, well, what's the conditions? He was like, I don't know, man. Like, you know, it's they're saying it's good. We don't know until we.
Oh, so he was far from it, so he couldn't go check it out.
Far from it.
It
was a total gamble.
Okay.
I said, fuck it, just buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he bought it. Drove it once he got into Japan, or once it got into his shipping place. And it turned out it was a good fucking
nice.
You know, it has a few like little dings and shit like that, but overall, like, it fucking works.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that was such a gamble, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now it's finally it arrived like 2 weeks ago.
And you posted it up on your story or on your Instagram?
It's on my actual feed. So I actually drove to Houston. I'm sorry, I actually flew to Houston once it landed in Texas. Because it took like about a month for it to, you know, from from Japan. So I flew out to Houston, checked it out, drove it for the first time.
Oh shit!
You know, it's fucking.
Does it have a Recaro in it?
It sure does. It has a Momo steering wheel and a big ass fucking dildo looking shifter.
Oh shit! That thing is so tight, bro.
Yeah.
Wow, guys! If you go to his Instagram, Leen Customs, one word, Leen Customs. He has a picture of the van. This thing is gangster. So is that like rattle can or what is that?
It doesn't look like rattle can, but it definitely is like a black matte finish. I'm actually talking to the guys over at Rap Legends.
Okay.
They're gonna hook me up with a wrap.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's the main plan, man. Like, I want to propose to a few like companies if they want to hop on like a sponsor build, you know?
Yeah.
Because gonna haul it everywhere to all the major events, all the major shows,
Yeah.
That's kind of the game plan for it,
Definitely. If you need any hardware for that, dude, you definitely know. Hit me up, man.
I don't even know what kind of hardware I would.
I don't know. We'll find it somewhere. But yeah, man, I'm definitely behind it, dude. I think that's such an awesome idea. I would love to do something like that, that we could have set up. We could have the hardware in there. You can just pull up to meets, you know.
And that's kind of my main thing. Again, going back to like being at trade shows and doing booth, it's like you want to stand out from everyone, and even though I've always been against like canopy tops, I had to fucking get a custom.
You have to.
I actually just put an order in with the homies over at Top Ups.
Oh, okay, cool. Kevin.
Yeah, the homie Kevin. So I actually just got it ordered just because it's like, even though I'm gonna need it regardless, I'd rather have an actually branded one. So if anybody doing media work gets some drone shots or stuff like that, you want to be able to see some aerial views.
Well, maybe that could be something when you have to fly out to like a far distance,
right?
Because that's what we would do. I'll just take my canopy top, just the top out there.
And then what?
And then I'll just either find a buddy that has a canopy, or I'll go rent one at Walmart. And then
you buy one and return it.
I do that shit all the time, bro. Shout out to Walmart. They got the money. It's all good.
Yeah, totally.
But dude, you go to Walmart, you buy one, and then you just return it when you're done. We do that with the tables too. We've done like over 100 different shows, so it's kind of like down to a science. So that's what I'm saying, man. You should make it happen. And if you ever need anything, dude, just let me know.
Yeah, I found out about a Grid Life earlier this year too. Well, I think it was actually, I found out about them last year, but I really wasn't sure what the fuck there was, because it was kind of a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
And then them motherfuckers have a little soundbar van too, dude. Like,
oh really?
Well, you're at SEMA, right?
Yeah.
Did you see their booth or their little display they
had?
They were like tucked in right by like, I don't know, the one of the entrances for like if you get dropped off with like Lyft.
Got you.
Taxis,
Okay, got
that
you.
White tent, Anyways, they had like that minivan there with like a little camp scene kind of thing. I got attracted because oh shit, there's a fucking soundbar right here. I've been looking for one. When I go up, it's like, oh shit, it's Grid Life.
Yeah.
But no one was there. I couldn't chat with anyone there. But earlier this year, I kind of found out exactly what they were doing and everything that they've done actually, and I was like, "Fuck, this is so dope!"
They're killing it, man. Shout out to Chris, bro. He's a beast.
Yeah,
I remember even when I used to go out there to like the Import Alliance shows. That was in the South, and he's out there in the South, and I think one time we were at Import Alliance Atlanta, and somebody rented out a mansion. And we were all at this mansion just chilling and partying and shit. It was really tight. And I've met Chris a couple times before, but I remember us having a real deep conversation there and him talking about Grid Life and what he has planned. And dude, he's 110% in, which is dope,
Yeah.
And when you're that devoted into something, that's how you know that it's going to be something big. Because if somebody puts their 110% into it and they know what they're talking about and they know what they want it to be, like, you better watch out for that person because they're on their way, and it's no surprise to see where Grid Life has where it's at now and where it's gonna go, man. And the only thing that I said about Grid Life, and this was when I went back in 2016, I think was the first time that I went to Grid Life, and it was in Atlanta as well. I love Atlanta, dude. Such a dope city. So we went out to Atlanta and we actually camped out there, and when I got the entire feel of the event, I'm like, this is something special. What they have going on is something special. The only issue was the car show vendor area of it. There wasn't as much focus as there was into the pits, as to the drifting and that section of things, right. Which is understandable because that's the main attraction. But now that they teamed up with IBOC Meet this year, bro, that shit is gonna be insane because IBOC is gonna be in charge of like the car show area, the vendors and things like that. And the vendors that the IBOC show brings, it's not just some guys selling stickers,
and pins,
selling pins. No, it's like crazy big companies. Like even at the one that you just went to,
dude, that show was fucking
Mugen there, Spoon. We had had a booth. Ryan from Rywire had a booth. You know, Big Mike had his booth set up, dude. It's like a lot of big brands out there, especially even Gretty, Kenji. He displayed his build that he was his Hot Wheel too. You know, it's everybody that everybody that's doing something in the community, in the Honda community, is at the IBOC event. And for that to collab with Grid Life, I'm super excited, man. So,
it's definitely on my calendar, and I definitely want to be able to get out there.
I hope you make it, man, for sure.
Even if it's just with even if it's just a regular booth, fuck it, you know. But primarily, if I can get that fucking van out there, that'd be
amazing. Would be so sick, man. I've shipped a car out to the East Coast before, and it's probably about like 3 G's there and back.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty pricey, but when we did it, it was like a whole experience, and the car, it was kind of making it a debut, so it made it worth it as far as marketing wise, you know. But once you look at it, you're like, damn, I'm like 5 G's into this damn trip. I hope this shit goes good, you know. But even if you don't end up having like a crazy booth, like I said, you bring your top with you, and if you need help, I can help you figure out like the logistics of things. But totally. You definitely need to go, because if you do some pins of like, you know, drifting cars, 240s or something like that.
Well, I did that for Formula Drift. I did like that series.
Hell yeah.
That was a really good turnout, and it's obviously a series that I'm going to continue. So I want to add more pro drivers. I want to add more regular just cars that people fuck with, you know.
So have you been surprised on the people that have been contacting you?
I've been surprised at the people that contacted me and the people that I contact, and they're like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Yeah, man. You know, which is a good one that you might like.
Who's that?
Bucky Lassick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no that one's dropping soon. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, obviously, you know who that is.
Yeah.
And he's a huge like Subaru enthusiast.
Wow.
So I mean, he was racing rally professionally for a while. Now he got like this GC8 that it's pretty much finalized, you know. It's built. It was like a fucking project car for sure. Anyway, so we pinned that, you know, so that should be available hopefully in the next week or two. That's cool. Gonna be pretty cool. You know, Magnus Walker, Porsche stuff, you know. So I shared his art recently, and he fucking loved it. He fucking DM'd me.
How cool, man. So, damn,
stuff like that, you know. When I get that kind of response, it's motivation. It's just like, fuck yeah, man. You know, people are fucking with this, you know.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and again, it's different. It's artistic. I'm not just grabbing your picture and like, hey, I can make this to a pin.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck that shit,
dude. That's so cool, man. And you've done work with TJ Hunt as well.
TJ Hunt, yeah. That shout out to that dude. Yeah, that dude. That was pretty cool. We actually just did his new livery on the BRZ,
the McGuire's livery, right?
Stuff, yeah, that was pretty cool too. So stuff like that, when companies like that hit me up, it's like, you know, I appreciate every fucking support, you know, everybody that, you know, fucks with me because of that, because, you know, I started from nothing, you know, it's something that just keeps growing and growing, you know. KW hit me up, like I mentioned, front runner, the roof off-road stuff. I'm sure I'm missing a few other stuff, you know, but
there's a lot. There's a lot out there, man.
It's definitely blowing up, and it's just one of those things that I appreciate it, you know, every little detail, you know, whether it's a small order or a fucking huge fucking order.
Yeah,
you know, it's, you know, everything's fucking.
And you're on the ball too, man. I really appreciate that, dude. Like when we got the pin designed and just everything that we went through, like. Yeah. You made it in time, and you made it in time for the show, and you had them, and they looked fucking awesome. And that's how I love doing business, man. Yeah. I love doing business like the old school way. I like to say it like, you know, like old drug movies, like that. Like, you give me my product, I give you the money, and that's it. Everything's good. This is business. No terms, no bullshit like that. Yeah. So I told you, like, bro, you want this cash? I got you, bro. Like, I want to get you taken care of. And I like that you had the stuff ready. Everything looked good, and it wasn't like, I don't. Even though that the cards weren't there, I'm like, dude, this ready to go already off the bat, you know. And when you brought the cards today, I'm like, damn, this just takes it to another level, man. I've been writing notes down. I'm coming up with ideas in my head, like, oh, I want to do this pin, I want to do that. But it's awesome, and it's just that you have a really good product. And a lot of people see that in these small details and the way that you're marketing and this is a home run.
Yeah.
You got it going, man.
I'm grateful for that. Yeah, totally.
And it's obvious too that you're grateful for it. And I hope people, after hearing this this sit down that we have right here, that it makes them think more about the company than just a company that sells pins.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that some people that, I don't put myself out there. So it's not like people know, like, oh, is this a full-on company?
Yeah.
Do I have a team? How many people don't know that, because if you go on my Instagram, it's just pins. They don't.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. So is there a reason that you're not, quote unquote, marketing yourself, or the behind the scenes of things, or? Yeah,
a little bit, because I feel that one of the things it's like that I've always said, and then I don't know how this would make sense, but it's like, you are Leen Customs. If you buy a pin, you are Leen Customs. Because none of this would be possible without the support from every individual that I've had. So I don't want to put myself out there, because then it's about supporting me.
Got you.
But it's not about me.
Yeah.
I think it's primarily about the art form that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I never put my face out there. You don't see me sharing selfies or doing talk videos or anything like that. Because of that. Because I.
You just want the art to speak for itself.
Exactly. Let that shit be it.
Yeah.
Not that there's any secretive thing about me, but just I think the brand is supportive because everyone supports it. When you place an order, you're like, you are Leen Customs.
And it's really cool. It does leave a lot up to interpretation. Yeah. Like, how big is this company?
Yeah,
what's going on?
And I get hit that I get emails sometimes like, hey, I reached out to your team, like, hey, I fucking we'll do it, like, hey, I was speaking to Hansel last time.
Hansel. I love that, man. I love doing that, bro. And even when we started out, dude, we used to trap out of my bedroom. Literally, like, my bed would be here, and next to my bed is a 6-foot foldable table, and I would be there like, my staff, this, and I'm like, bro, this is what this is right now. This isn't what it's gonna be. This isn't what the brand is. So you don't need to see any of this.
I actually, it's funny that you say that, because I used to, I still catch myself, but I try to stay away from like using we, like, oh, we did this or we did. Now it's just like I just so people understand that it's solely one person. Yeah. Although I have my homies come out and help me out at events. My homie comes and helps me sometimes fulfill all the shipping orders. Yeah. My girl definitely plays a huge role in that as well. But primarily everything, communications with clients, trying to get new contacts, fucking trying to build relationships, obviously design work. Yeah. Shipping, packaging, labeling, fucking everything else in between, it's primarily just me.
Yeah. So do you want that to be known that it's just you, so people understand that, like, that you're not gonna get it in Amazon time or
yeah, primarily, that not just that, but like, and again, going back to like the whole customs, like doing that, it's like people are like, hey, I hit you up like 2 weeks ago about a custom order, and I'm like, dude, people have been waiting since December, man. Yeah. Like it. Keep waiting, hang on tight, but like, because I eventually I do plan to, and then there's like there's really dope cars that I've been wanting to pin. It's just like when I'm getting ready, it's like I get hit from like an order from like Toyo, hey, we need these.
Yeah.
Fuck, okay, I gotta
gotta go do
obviously shift my priorities, yeah. So that definitely takes a huge impact too. And then there's, again, I stopped offering customs for a bit because I wanted to focus more on my branding and my push on my products that I feel would sell. I had a Euro show at the Peterson Museum, and I was like, I have no Euro cars. Fuck, let me stop designing other cars. Let me just create a full-on Euro collection. Gotcha. Same thing. My next big event is Beamer Fest.
Yeah, when is that?
2 weeks, May 25th
in
Fontana Speedway. Yeah, come out, yo. There's gonna be some cool drops,
dude. That's right.
Some new stuff. I actually have the Street Fighter LA that as my booth car, the E46 that was featured at the Toyo booth.
Nice.
Yeah, they'll be in my booth this year for Beamer Fest, and that was another show that for me I was like, fuck, man, like it's expensive. Beamer Fest, you're expensive.
To be a vendor?
To be a vendor, yeah. Maybe dude. To these other baller ass companies, like they're like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But for me, that was like one of the most expensive shows I've paid for. But the way I saw it is that I was there last year. And last year, man, fuck, you know who you are. They fucking supported me like from the start, bro. Like it was just, I did all these car events last year, pretty much not paying for a vendor booth for the most part. And really? That was fucking amazing. Yeah. Nice. So like, you know who you are, and that definitely helped out, bro, because I did Beamer Fest, and the dude from Keeping Up with the Barbarians, the Instagram page, we had just done like a pin drop, and I was like, yo, he I don't know if it was me or him, but he was just like, yo, come set up at the show, like have a space cool, in my booth. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm down. But I only have like 3 BMW pins. Like I don't have much. Everything was like it was a few Hondas, a few Subarus and stuff like that, the initial D stuff. I was surprised on how much people supported the pins, because I only had like 3 BMWs, and people were buying Honda pins. Yeah. Fucking Subaru pins, whatever BMW pin I had, And the turnout was good. Like, holy shit, like I made this much money with only having this. I only had like maybe 12 pins or something. Yeah. So taking that into consideration, I said, fuck it, I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to do Beamer Fest and do a full collection of BMWs.
Dude, hell so yeah. I have
like E30s, E36, E46, E92s, E90s, fucking the Zs, fucking.
Yeah. Did you do any of the M3, M4s?
I did a M5.
Oh, okay.
And an M3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So fuck me, right?
What do you have in
M4? It's an M4.
Yeah. What's an M4, man? Dude,
you never seen that one before?
Well, I mean, I've seen it. It looks like an E90, if I'm right or wrong. I don't know.
See. I'll show you a picture. I might be wrong. But that's one of them that I want to do with you.
Yeah, I remember you showed it to me, the one with the big ass Downstar logo on the side.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. But it's out of blur.
Is that like would that be considered a F?
It's a F80.
F80.
Yeah, so it's like the F80, 81, and 82. So it's like the M3, M4, and then the convertible.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely didn't do one of those. I should have.
It's all good. That's the one that I want to do. I want to do the one that has the
exclusive Downstar.
Yeah, the exclusive Downstar one. Yeah. I've told you I've been writing these down. I've been talking, dude. I'm about to place a big order with you on those ones. But
I haven't done that. Yeah, so Beamer Fest was again, that was a cool turnout last year, and I was like, fuck, and again, so this year I was like, fuck, I'm gonna pull the trigger and just go full force, and that's the game plan, And then this year, that's kind of that was my focus this year, but it started last year, like in I think it's Stance Nation. I was like, okay, I'm going to start. The downside with that, with everybody letting me bum their booth, was that there wasn't any promotion that, Leen Custom is going to be here, It was mainly word of mouth that I was going to be there, like me doing all the promo, like, hey, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
But now it's like I'm going to focus on supporting the events as well, and being an official vendor, having my name there,
Definitely.
Stuff like that, so.
Very cool, man. Dude, I'm so excited to see your growth, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
just from when I got that pin back in SEMA and until now, till we just did our own pin, 2 weeks ago, and those are flying off the shelf, man. I only have a few left of those. But like I said, that's probably going to be one of those products that we'll just always have. Is just the logo one. But I have some ideas for cars that will do like rare ones or numbered ones or something like that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, some of the limited edition stuff.
So for everybody listening, where can they find you at?
Everything's pretty much simple. Everything is branded under Leen Customs, Leen Customs.
Instagram, Facebook. Do you do any Twitter?
No, I don't do any Twitter. I stopped doing Facebook as much.
Yeah, it's too political, bro. Talk about none of that shit.
Yeah, I definitely stopped doing it, but it's mainly just Instagram. I have a YouTube channel if you guys want to check out some recap videos. Not much, but it's mainly just recap videos.
Is that just Leen Customs?
Yeah, Leen Customs.
Everywhere.
Everything Leen Customs.
Dude.
Leen Customs.
That is really cool that we had this conversation, and now I think people will be able to understand that the company is a lot more than just pins. Like even the name, like the name is super intriguing, man, to know where that came from, and then and then to hear your past and stuff. And I really appreciate you making the time to come over here and sit down, man.
Stoked.
It's it's really motivational just to see somebody else that's on their hustle and just see them on their journey, you know. And like I said, I'm excited to see where the brand ends up at the end of this year. See what you got going on for SEMA this year, man.
Yeah, SEMA's gonna be crazy. If you guys are there, expect another scavenger hunt with Toyo Tires.
Sick.
That's gonna be fun. I still don't know what cars, obviously, but it seems like people are gonna start prepping pretty soon.
Yeah.
Usually it's around this time, I think.
I mean, the good ones. The other ones, they usually start late September building their cars, and then they start shooting out emails and texts and shit. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you should have fucking told me about this a month ago. You're like, hey, I need this overnight. I'm like, fuck, man. Yeah, but that's funny. It's all worth it, dude. It's all.
Last year was a great time. My first SEMA.
Really? Yeah. What'd you think?
It was overwhelming. Holy hell shit, yeah! Man. It was crazy. Like I remember, I spent the day not even. It was a lot. It was a lot to take in. It was fun for sure. How many days is this? 4 days.
4. Yes.
Yeah. Right. 4 days. So I got there on the second day. Mm-hmm. Second day I checked out the show. You know, kind of saw what it was about. The third day, I kind of just fucked around a little bit, and we went to go have homies. I went to go have lunch with the homies from Honors up in OC. They were in town as well, and like we left for pretty much half the show. I'm like, fuck, I missed half the show. Yeah, it's so long and everything's far and shit.
Yeah, dude, it's a huge show. One time I even had a dream, bro. I had a dream that I slept in and I missed the whole show, and I was so disappointed in myself, bro. Yeah, I'm like, fuck, man, you just ruined the whole fucking trip. And I woke up and it's just like 7 a.m. Wow, okay, cool. That's hilarious. Dope, man. Yeah. I'm excited to see you over there, bro, and hopefully you make it out to Atlanta. Yes. To Grid Life out there. That would be cool, bro.
I contacted them, trying to get a vendor booth.
Oh, okay.
If you have the plug. I know Ryan said he was going to let them know and plug me in with them. I know he said.
Oh, definitely, dude. Yeah. If there's something that you want to do, man, I'll do my best to help you out, and we reach out to them. They're actually coming out with something really exciting this year. Is the Podcast Village out there. So they're still working on the logistics of it, but what they said it's going to be is an area where podcasts are had. And I'm just like, bro, I would rather take the tent and everything to do podcast than sell. You know what I mean? Then you're going to have all the drifters there. You're going to have a bunch of people there for the event. Man, I'm on my podcast hustle, bro. I'm trying to do like 10 podcasts that weekend, man. Let's sit down and let's chat, you know? Yeah, dope. But you know, like anything, man, it just takes a grind. It takes a hustle. It takes those like 10 to 3 a.m. nights, you know, and a lot of people don't understand that.
It's every night for me.
Just we're on our hustle, bro. Yeah. And this is my own open invitation to you if you ever need anything from me. Perfect. Man. Awesome. I've been in this industry for a while, and I've seen a lot of stuff that can go wrong, you know, and I always say, man, a smart person learns from their mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others, you know. And we all need to stick together and totally help each other out and help this thing keep going, man, because it takes the work from everybody to keep this community going. Because if we don't focus on it, somebody is or somebody is not.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. You know, if I slack, then that guy that started making pins is gonna fucking start, you know, taking over my fucking shit.
But you're doing it, man. Every time I'm scrolling, you're coming out with a new pin, dude, and that's really, really cool, bro. But like I said, I really appreciate you coming down and taking time to sit down with us, guys. Listening, make sure you check them out at Leen Customs. Really supporting a good company, a grassroots company that is just, you know, like you said, it's just artwork, you know, artwork, and you're displaying what you got going on in your head, and it's just it's very cool that you're allowing everybody to be part of it, man. I'm excited to see where everything goes.
Thanks, man.
So thank you guys for listening to episode 63. Once again, at Leen Customs, Leen Customs. Make sure you check them out, show them some love, and give them some feedback, you know, shoot them a message, you know, and anything that you got from this podcast, I know it's much appreciated. And if you guys have any questions, any comments for us, you can check us out at Downtime with Downstar. And thank you guys for listening. Peace.